Gamers. Hold on. Is that gamers I smell? PU. Okay. And what's up? Looks like it's all working. Can anyone else not hear Mr. Shovel? I can hear me, but... Hey, Inbound Shovel, you should try out our silly submission. It's called Wilt. Give it a shot. Did you post it in the Showcase Saturday channel? Make sure it's in there. So I have the link. Welcome. Hello, Nikki Nation. Inbound Shicky in the house. Void. Hello, Void Animations. EO2 Bebo, what's up? Claire, how you doing? Orange Cat Games, you should play Cat Sounds, my first game. Welcome in, Orange Cat. I can hear the shovels. Hello, okay. Hi, Void. Greetings. July is over, so I'm not back to game dev. Got to finish up a massive drawing for a friend and then the animations for someone else. And then I got to do the devlog. Oof, oof, oof. Got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. Oh, Ham Hog. Hello. Good to see you. Making sure I didn't miss anyone. Jumpy, of course. Hello, Alive Star. Jumpy. Okay, for some reason it translated good day into beggar. So I don't know why it did that. Why is prototyping a new game so much more fun than polishing a commercial game I'm supposed to be working on? That's actually extremely real. I think it comes from the fact that, like, polishing requires, like, a lot of time spent on, like, a small percentage of progress, whereas prototyping is less time spent on a much larger percent of progress. Like, the actual rewards, like, what you're getting out of the work you're doing is much higher for a prototype. You can spend a week putting together a prototype and it's rough around the edges, but you've created like a whole thing you can play. Whereas if you spend a week polishing, it's like the thing you've already made is like a little bit nicer. So finding the joy in polishing can be tough, but first we inbound, then we shovel. That is extremely true. After a good few months of animating, my wrist finally decided to die. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. Oh my gosh. OK Productions with the super chat. Thank you, OK. Finished up some voice acting work today. That's sick, dude. I love voice acting. Oh my gosh, did I think the alerts got broken again. Mix it up, bot. Not ideal, not ideal. Making new stuff is fun. Yeah, for sure. Hey, thank you for your great content. Wish you the best with your game. Can we suggest games from the jam? Yeah, if you go into the Showcase Saturday channel in the Discord, you can post games in there. Ideally, you just post your own games. That way I know everyone who I'm playing the game of is okay with me, like, playing it on stream and giving feedback. I'm watching this instead of working on the comic for my game for Alpha 0.3. Eventually, you should put me onto the second screen. You know, I'm happy to be second screen content while you're while you're working on your actual progress. Blasting balloons. I think I saw that. Right. I saw that in Discord. I don't think that's a GMTK Jam game. The reason I wanted to do GMTK today is because generally Jam games are a little bit smaller, so I can play a couple more of them, and they'll all be on, like, the same theme, which I think is fun. I think it'll be cool to be able to evaluate how different people interpreted the theme of the game jam all consecutively. So I think that'll be cool. What about third screen? Oh, yeah, I'll take it. I accidentally got myself roped into a voice acting gig. It pays good, though. It's been a great experience. That's awesome. How long did you spend on level design for the Isadora playtest, and what's your go-to in level design if you have any? So I spent quite a while on level design, and my go-to tip would be that when it comes to level design, you really need to establish your own set of level design rules based on, like, what's the experience you want the player to have, right? It's like, you know, if you want your player to constantly feel like the world is dangerous, like something like in Silksong, then one of your rules needs to be maybe that every once in a while, like relatively frequently, you do something that defies the player expectations as like a trap. Oh, Cat with the 12 months. Dude, that's sick. That's sick. Thank you. Can we get some +2s in chat for Kat? That's awesome. Guess who's finally done with her job? Hey, nice, nice. I saw you posting about the roguelike with a gun as well. Hope progress on that is going well. 100 screen content, and the other 98 have idle games in the background while I game dev. I feel like that's pretty much the ideal state of being. What was I saying before the message came in? Oh yeah, you want to establish a set of rules. So for like Silksong, the world's supposed to feel dangerous, so it seems like they have some rules they follow. Guess who's still unemployed? Claire for 6 months. Let's go. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate that. Can we also get some +2s for Claire? And also, that means you get the badge upgrade, right? That's sick. That's sick. I love how the badge gets pinker and pinker with more sparklies. That's sort of the vibe I want to put out into the world. Pink and sparkly. But yeah, so if you want the world to feel dangerous, you need to have some rules in mind for like every once in a while, surprise the player, like defy their expectations with something that will deal damage to them, right? Either put a trap or something they're not going to expect, make a bench fall out from underneath them, stuff like that are the kind of things you want to be thinking about. And every game is going to have different rules for level design, and even different areas. And for the movement playtest, one of my goals was that I wanted to consistently switch up the type of platforming the player had to do. So that's why the different areas have very different types of platforms, right? It's like the stuff in Piston Hall is going to be much different than the stuff in the lab, right? I made the lab, was very spaced out, was a lot of jumping, a lot of aerial movement, a lot of wall climbing. And then even the moving platforms between the solar array and the cargo bay were very different, because the solar array you needed to get a lot more verticality with the platforms as they were moving, whereas the cargo bay was a lot more you had to move a lot more horizontally across the moving platforms. And so that was all in line with one of the rules I set for myself of like constantly varying up the type of platforming being done. And I think that that's like a pretty good way to think about it. And I use the word rules, but you can actually more think of it as like guidelines. It functions very similarly. But the idea is like, when you're making an area, thinking about what is it that I want my player to be feeling, what do I want them to think, and what do I want them to do? Like, what is the actual action here? And then I have like a whole other concept that I use, which is like building difficulty options into the level design itself, where it's like you can either go the easy route or the hard route through this room. And if you take the hard route, there has to be some reward associated with it. And a reward can just be saving time and going quicker. But actually, I cover that a little bit in detail in my upcoming devlog. So, stay tuned for that. But can confirm after my 3 jams, the shovel one was the best. Hey, thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to like being able to run another one once I have the Isadora's Edge demo out. I think that'll be cool. Came for Showcase Saturday, got game dev advice instead. Absolute cinema. That's the goal. IDT Nikki says, inbound shovel, I got distracted making a language for my game. What do you think about this? I think that's cool. I think one of the editors for my YouTube channel, Digit, he does the game dev secrets at this point. He loves inventing fantasy languages. So I have a lot of experience with listening to someone talk about the language they're inventing. And I think Digit even started working on some fantasy languages for Isadora's Edge. He has like a document somewhere that is probably extremely extensive. I think that's a fun part of world building. So, toxic places must begin with B. Blighttown, Black Gulch, Bilewater. True. My membership is back. Oh, nice. That's cool. I'm thinking about doing the 20 games challenge to get some more practice in. What do you think about going that route? Is the 20 games challenge like 20 games in 20 days? I remember for a while there was something popular like a game a day. Hold on, let me see. 20 games challenge. The 20 games challenge is to learn game development in 20 games or less. It's a fun way to gain confidence while learning to make video games. It's a codified approach to deliberately learning the fundamentals of game development. You don't have to complete all 20 games. Recommend completing at least 10. Here are some rules and details for the challenge. Okay, what are the rules and details? This is not a tutorial. You should think of it more like a syllabus. I think that's a sign that something is like being thought about in a good way. Similar to my learning Godot in 30 days like document that I put together for people. I also think of that as a syllabus. Like each day is a lesson, and then each day also has a game associated with it that you're supposed to make. So I feel like this 20 games challenge is following a very similar fundamental mindset as my learn how to use Godot in 30 days document. So I think this is probably a good way to do it. 10 recommended games. By the end of game 10, you should be able to make a 2D or simple 3D game. Nice, okay. Here's the challenge page. Let's see. List of 10 games to get started. Game 1, Pong or Flappy Bird. Select one of the games and make it. Second is Breakout or Jetpack Joyride. Okay, I think this is going to make you a very well-rounded game developer. Game 3 is either Space Invaders or Frogger. Number 4 is going to be Asteroid, Space War, or Indy 500. Yeah, so my 30-day Godot guide is way more simplistic than this. I think by the end of those 30 days, you would probably only be a couple games in. So this one is definitely not 20 games in 20 days. I feel like this is 20 games over probably a couple of months of learning. But I think the mindset here is really good. And I think this also gives you something very approachable, because even if you get like, you're working on Frogger for game number 3 and it's like, okay, but you're not super happy with it, but you learned enough to go on to game 4. And I think by the end of the 20 games, you'll have so much experience. I think this is a good concept. Zard Ward the Bard. Hello, I just published my first game for GMTK. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, I think this is a good idea. Luna, I'm late. How are peeps doing? We're doing all right. Have you ever played World of Horror? World of Horror. World of Horror. I have not, although the art style is very cool. Just from a quick Google search, the art style seems really sick. A little bit spooky. It almost feels like a pixel art, what is it, Junji Ito? Is that? Yeah. It almost feels like pixel art Junji Ito game. That's cool. Gonna hop on Splatoon Raiders while listening to advice. Nice, nice. That's fun. I would do it like 1 game a week depending on my work schedule. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to do it. Like over the course of 20 weeks, by the end of those 20 weeks, you'll be way more experienced at making games. You'll have way more experience in the engine, and in general, you'll be able to like join a game jam and like jump in there and start making something in a way that like feels out of reach at the moment. So I think that's a very good idea. I think I didn't look through every detail, but from my quick overview, my quick glance, at a high level, I think I align very, very much with the idea of how they put together the 20 games challenge. Godot is better for big projects. Scratch is good for learning to code. I think that's a fair assessment. I think Scratch is pretty good for learning to code. So, 4 days to make a game felt kind of crazy. Yeah, GMTK. I know that they increased the duration on the jam, right? Like it's 4 days now. It used to be 48 hours, but it still feels too short to me. At least in my opinion. I know that there is some benefit to having a shorter jam, that people like get their thing done and then move on, but I just feel like it's a little bit too short. If you're starting small, doing game jams is great because they force you to do the entire game dev process. Yeah, that's one of the big benefits. I gotta go. I have stuff to do. I'll see you later. All right. Thanks for hanging out, Jumpy. Shovel, in Isadora's Edge, could you not put secrets with stuff like money or upgrades or new areas and platforming sections? All the focus is on platforming, so barely anyone finds secrets. Hold on. I didn't understand that question. Let me read it again. Could you not put secrets with stuff like money or upgrades or new areas in platforming sections? All the focus is on platforming, so barely anyone finds the secrets. Oh, like don't put all the secrets behind some platforming challenge? Yeah, I definitely am not planning on doing that. No worries at all there. Costa the Greek, well, thank you so much. Can we get some +2s in chat for Costa the Greek? That's awesome. Hey, David, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for hopping in. How's it going? I'm doing all right. I woke up with a nasty headache really early. I slept horribly from having a headache. And that's also why I started stream early, because I was like, usually if I don't get good sleep and wake up with a headache, I get a migraine later in the day. And I was like, if I stream early, maybe I'll be able to finish the stream and then go be incapacitated with the migraines. So, got to plan ahead, think ahead, strategy. But other than that, other than the headache that I had earlier today, I've been feeling real good recently. So, how do you manage to work consistently? I've been having issues with staying focused on just working. This is, I think, a great question, and it's something that a lot of people struggle with. And also, it's a constant battle. I think one thing that's very useful is to forgive yourself. Like if you spend a couple hours completely unfocused and realize that you spent that time unfocused, it can be really demoralizing if the way you react to it is by like, oh, I'm so stupid. Why'd I waste all that time? Instead, you just got to forgive yourself and be like, well, did I doom scroll for a couple hours? Yeah, but at least I got my doom scrolling out of the way. Now it's time to lock in, right? I think a shift in mindset can help a lot. Additionally, like give yourself little outs. Like if I am scrolling YouTube shorts or TikTok or something, I will often remind myself, like, is this what I want to be spending my time doing? Like, just check in with yourself every once in a while, and that way you give yourself an out. And it can be hard to break out of the cycle of being distracted to make a check-in with yourself. So use any tools available. For example, my browser automatically blocks like Reddit and YouTube. So if I open those, there's like a big error thing in the way. And it's relatively easy to get around if I really need to go to YouTube, which I do often have to do for like, you know, working on stuff. But if I just arbitrarily open YouTube or something while I'm supposed to be working, the first thing that pops up is a message that says, hey, do you really want to be doing this? And I even put in a custom message that's like, do you want to be doing this? You should focus on your game. And then that's usually enough to be like, oh yeah, why I lost focus, so I'm going to get back to it. And additionally, I set a little reminder on my phone that like if the screen has been active for 10 minutes, it pops up and is like screen time for 10 minutes or whatever the message says. And that gives me a moment to break out and be like, is this what I want to be spending my time doing? So then I put the phone down. Additionally, making it as easy as possible on yourself to get back to work. Like put as few obstacles in the way as possible. Like make sure you leave your engine open, or if you're writing something, leave the dock open. If you put your phone in another room, that can be a good way to get around it too. It's like why a lot of people will go to like coffee shops and stuff is like they're separating themselves from the distractions, or just like making a separate space to focus. So I'd say one thing that is a lesson that it took me a while to learn is to be honest with yourself about yourself, right? It's like, do I get distracted fairly easily? Yes. So I need to recognize that and think about what are the things that are distracting me. And if I can just be honest with myself about that, then I can set up the tools I need to keep me from getting distracted, right? I don't blame myself for getting distracted by the internet. It was specifically designed to distract me, right? Oh no, I got hooked into the TikTok algorithm. It's almost like a bunch of very smart people worked really hard to make it that the algorithm would be able to trick my brain into staying focused on it. Okay. So I'm not mad at myself at all for falling for their tricks. What instead I need to do is build up my own defense system to counteract against it, right? And I mean, that's even a way to think about it. It's like when you're locked in the scroll or locked in whatever is distracting you, think like there is a team of very smart, very rich engineers who have specifically designed this to keep me like sucked into it. Do I want to let them win right now? And that's usually a thing that gets me out of it too. So, yeah, so basically be honest with yourself. What are the things that distract you? Put barriers in front of those distractions, and then put less barriers in front of doing the work. So something like that. It's like a lot of my tricks. There's literally an extension that removes YouTube shorts. Yes. Always nice to hear some of Shovel's musings. Speak the truth, Mr. Trowel. What's up, Bubba? Good to see you. The devlog will be next month or later. There's other stuff coming first. Oh, yeah. Did someone say when's the next devlog? Yeah, I'm working on it right now. It's getting pretty close. But just gotta lock in. I'm really happy with the progress on it though. I had to learn After Effects, which was something. But yeah, I really like where it's going, and I think it's gonna be a good one. We'll see. Oh, Claire, auspicious advice. Good tidings be upon you. Hey, thank you, Claire. Can we get some +2s in chat for Claire? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hi, Bubba. I consider changing my top-down Dungeon Explorer to a Metroidvania. What do you think? Top-down Dungeon Explorer to a Metroidvania? Oh, I mean, I think you can build Metroidvania elements into a top-down Dungeon Explorer, no problem. I think that would even make exploring the dungeon more fun as well. The deadline helped me avoid scope creep. Doubt a soft deadline will feel the same as a hard deadline, though. That's true to some extent, but I do think soft deadlines help me out a lot. Hard deadlines are more helpful. But without something forcing the hard deadline, it's like, you know, that's one thing with my YouTube videos that like usually I can get locked into like a perfectionism cycle where I like just keep spinning on it until I think it's good enough. Which takes a while for me to get to the point where I think it's good enough. But if I have a sponsor who's like, you need to post this by this day, then I get it done, you know? So like hard deadlines are very helpful, but even soft deadlines can work. That's why I use the sprint system and make the tasks and estimate how much I'm going to get done so that like I have at least a little bit of pressure on myself of like, I expected this to take this long. Do I need to spend more time on it? You know? If I had infinite time, I would make my own version of every software that isn't open source. Hell yeah, brother. Do you have thoughts of using vector art in Godot versus pixel art? I think I like pixel art just because I like it. You know, it's like I don't think pixel art is like fundamentally better than any other art style. I just personally like pixel art, but I think any art style you use is going to have its own set of like requirements and interesting hangups that you're going to have to figure out. You're going to run into your own set of issues dealing with any particular art style. So I'd say my advice generally would be to use the art style that either excites you most, like in my case with pixel art, or use the art style that you have the most knowledge in. Because then you'll be able to work around those hangups a lot more easily. Because I liked pixel art, I learned all of the stuff that like surrounds it. So now I have a really good understanding of pixel art, which makes it easier to develop a pixel art game. And that's just something that like, as you work with the art style you like the most, you'll gain that experience. So, I have a team. My boys are in or out of energy after doing jams and whatnot at different times. If I make the decision to make them wait for each other and none take too long, what do you think? Oh, so like some of your team members are exhausted after doing game jams. Do you think you should wait? Yeah, I think like communicating is the clear thing there. I think like as long as everyone on the team is aware, like, hey, you know, we just did game jam. Some people are exhausted, so we're gonna take a break from development until like this day, and then we're gonna like try to restart it there. I think communication is the key to like one of the keys to proper leadership. Understanding is also good too. So I think the fact that you're thinking about their energy levels and saying like, you know, they're tired after doing the jam, so need to give them some time to rest before we like lock back in. I think that's a good thing to do. And I do think people generally work better when their brain is rested. I think that's like almost like no doubt. I feel like it's way easier to lock in and get good stuff done when your brain has extra cycles, right? Have you thought of the lore of Isadora's Edge? Oh, for sure, for sure. I got a lot of stuff written, a lot of characters, a lot of story beats. It's funny because I've been thinking about the story of Isadora's Edge for so long, and I know all the different iterations of it. Insandio knows all the different iterations of it. Extrangi knows the different iterations of it and like what's currently going on. And so it'll be really interesting for me to see once people as a whole get to like react to the whole story and see what's going on and meet all the different characters. And that's something I'm really looking forward to. But before I can put the story in front of people, I have to finish all the other stuff that gets in the way of the story. And so that's definitely one aspect of game development for sure, is that kind of lands at the end. The story of ID Cal is an 80-hour epic. I hope so. I think I'm having trouble starting my game because I'm worried about writing bad code, especially when working with other programmers. I think one thing you're definitely want to do is try to rid yourself of the worry of like, what if this isn't good enough for later? Because if it's not good enough later, you can just change it. You know, I think that hesitancy to get started on making the systems, because you want to make sure you make an extensible system that like properly handles everything. You want it to be maintainable, so you're not dealing with a bunch of bugs later, and all of that stuff is important. But if it's stopping you from like writing a system in the first place, then it's not helping. So generally what I will do is that's one of the things that test-driven development kind of helps with, where you just set up the system at its minimum level and then you add features to it as it needs to. I'd say the number one thing to focus on when you're writing those early systems, especially if you don't have as much experience with like software architecture and game architecture as a whole, to be like to have the knowledge to make good decisions is like, there's a huge prerequisite there. So if you don't have that knowledge yet, one of the things you should focus on earlier is making sure you're not coupling things together too tightly. Like when you're writing your system, try to make it like its own independent system that other things talk to. That way, if you need to update it later, you're not going to need to have to like rip a bunch of stuff out and redo a bunch of glue, and it's not going to affect a whole bunch of other stuff, because you can just change the internals, and then the stuff that talks to it, you just use the same communication layer, right? So I know you're working on roguelike with a gun, right? So if you're working on your like upgrade system, or like your bullet system for how the different bullets should work, try to keep that like self-maintained and don't couple it tightly with other pieces of the architecture. That way, if you need to rework the bullet system later because you have like a bunch of bullet features that aren't working properly, you can go ahead and just completely overhaul it. And it's fine because you can swap it in and out. So that's sort of what's happened with Isadora's Edge. Like when I started working on it, I thought it was going to be a simple platformer. I was going to work on it too long. And so a lot of the systems I wrote initially were like really like rough around the edges and like quickly hacked up. the player controller, for example. But I kept everything like, I didn't couple things tightly just because of I have that experience and that knowledge background, right? So even though I wrote stuff quickly, I still kept it like pretty isolated, which means when I needed to go back and upgrade Isadora's player controller later, I was able to just rip out her old player controller and slap in a new one and start working it, because all my other systems didn't really care. There were like a couple things that broke because I coupled stuff that I shouldn't have. Like some of the bosses would like directly like look at what Isadora's like state machine was executing to make decisions. And instead I should just like make a thing that exposes it so they can check her internals if they need to, but it like sends it in a format that isn't related to how it's actually being executed internally. But those small edge cases aside, it was a relatively painless process to rip out the old player controller and create a new one. And even when I was doing that refactor, I just was able to have two Isadoras running at the same time, one with the old controller and one with the new controller. And then I just pressed a button to swap between them so that I could make sure I was replicating all the behaviors that I liked, and I could fix all the behaviors that I didn't like by just doing the same inputs in the same areas and swapping between the two Isadoras. And that's something that can only happen if things aren't coupled together, right? If too many systems are talking to Isadora, then you can't just have two running. That'll break everything, right? So, modular systems. Yes. Modular systems, I think, are very, very important. To be honest, good code is kind of a myth. Sometimes like the ceiling isn't very high unless you need like a really ingenious solution to something. Yeah, I think that's a very salient point, Claire, where it's like, writing something that's like really expertly crafted is not as important as writing something that like is finished and people can play with. And I think that when you're writing tooling, it can be a little bit different. Like if I'm writing tools for the rest of the team, right? If I'm writing a card creator, right? I'm the card editor program inside of the engine. Like I'm making my own little plugin to create cards quickly. I want that to be very usable so that if I have someone else on the team, they want to make cards, they're not like fiddling with my really rough around the edges card editor. So I'll put a little bit of extra effort into the polish on those card editors so that if I'm working with a team, obviously, if you're just working by yourself, you can make it as jank as you want. But, from my time as a professional game developer with a team where other people are using the tools, you put a little extra polish on it so it's easy for everyone to work with. Because the amount of time you spend fiddling with your tools increases development time, right? It's like, imagine for a card editor, if like, you know, if you could make it so that everyone is working in that card editing plugin 50% faster, right? Like, then in theory, development will go way faster because they're not spending all that extra time fiddling with the tool. But like you said, and I agree that it's better to write stuff that like works and gets the job done, and then you can fix it up later if you need to. I'm working on a Game & Watch style game. It's pretty fun finding ways to make simple but fun games. Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good way to challenge yourself too. It can be really tempting when you're running into game design problems to attempt to solve it with a system, like a very systems-based approach, where it's like, oh, I'm running into this issue, so I'm going to add this system on top of it to solve that issue. Then you've added a lot of complexity by putting another system on top, and now everything is like interacting with each other, creating all these new interactions, and maybe one of them has a problem, and it's like, oh, if people do this and this, the new system allows them to completely circumvent the fun of the game, right? Oh, so let's add this system on top of it, right? Now they have to collect bones, and collecting the bones causes them to do whatever, right? Now you have this whole bone collecting system. Then the bone collecting system has a weird interaction with one of the other systems, and now you're like, okay, we need a solution to how the bone interactions works with the baking process. So let's add fishing. And so that approach of like constantly adding to solve design problems, it's very common. People go for it a lot. But generally, if you can make something fun and solve all the design problems without adding new systems or complicating the design, like in a Game & Watch style game, I think that's a good way to teach yourself those kind of lessons. So I'm working on a game. It's pretty fun over-engineering solutions to simple problems. It sort of turns out to be the most efficient way. Yeah, over-engineering is classic. But yeah, let's see. I had the story of Meko ready very early, but I wanted to change some things. I felt like it's not good enough to change the story until I remember that no one knows what it is. Yeah, if other people don't know about the story, you can change it pretty much as freely as you want. Once the story is established, then like you're dealing with like canon and like rewriting events and stuff, and some people will be attached to previous characters or previous versions of the story, so there's a lot of extra stuff going on there. But when it comes to just like writing the story in the first place, you're pretty free to do whatever you want. As long as it works for what it needs to do, I'd say it's fine. Later you can upgrade the code to be faster, be better readable. I tell myself this all the time to not get stuck. Yeah, I think avoiding getting yourself stuck is very valuable. It's like, it's true that there are going to be better ways to write the code. And when you look back on it, you'll be like, why did I do it like this? When you see the clearer, more obvious solution, because the longer you spend working on a game, the more experience you get working on games, right? And so especially early on, right? If you're pretty early on in your dev journey, the experience compounds very drastically, right? Spending 6 months on making games versus a year, at a year, you're going to be much better than at 6 months. And so if you look back on the stuff you did at 6 months in, you'll be like, whoa, I missed a bunch of obvious stuff. And that's great. That's a great sign, because that means you've learned a lot and you can go in and fix stuff. As long as you make sure you're not like excessively shooting yourself in the foot. Because if you make everything coupled really tightly together, like in game jams, if you go and look back at game jam code, it can be really hard to update the system effectively because of the fact that there's so much stuff coupled together and so much rush job and everything is really rough around the edges. And so I think as long as you're trying to structure things generally well, you can always go back and upgrade it later. Okay. Why not make everything in one script? I'm sure it'll be fine. Enter the creation story. Hey, Crabdole, good to see you. If you join a game jam team, would you have to talk to people, or do most teams just only require you to write? I want to try working with teams in the future, but I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the team, actually. A lot of people do like to get in calls and discuss out loud, you know, really face to face with each other. But then a lot of people also just like to communicate purely through Discord. You don't necessarily need to get in the call. And as long as you're communicating clearly with the team that you don't like doing voice calls because you don't want to be in a voice chat, but you're more than happy to communicate through to messaging, I think that's totally fine. Okay. What made you get into making 2D games instead of 3D? I just really like 2D games. A lot of my favorite games are 2D. Like, I love Mega Man, Hollow Knight, Symphony of the Night. Those are all some of my favorites. Recently, Silksong added to that list. So I just really love 2D games, especially like the 2D platformer, 2D Metroidvania type of games are just one of my favorite genres, which is why I wanted to make them. There are plenty of 3D games I like as well, and I've worked on 3D games professionally. But and then also, I mean, the Bazaar is an interesting case because it's in 3D, even though the game is presented two-dimensionally. But yeah, mostly when I did a bunch of game jams, I made a bunch of different kinds of games. And when I was working on Isadora's Edge for the game jam, just making a 2D platformer with a boss fight, I really enjoyed the process. I really liked working on that. And then looking at people playing the finished game jam, there were a bunch of problems with it. But generally, people still liked it well enough. And it did pretty well in the game jam, too. So I had a pretty positive reception, and I really liked working on it. So it just felt like a no-brainer to me to lock in and make that into a full game, you know? But I think, that's not to say there's anything wrong with 3D. I'd love to make a 3D game as well. So, I remember getting dogged on for writing comments in shovel code. Yeah, I think with comments, you want your code to be as self-commenting as possible. Like, self-documenting code, I think, is a very good habit. But also, I think writing comments for yourself, it's just a matter of knowing yourself. People have their own development process, and they will, for whatever reason, try to hoist that development process onto you, even if you don't ask for it. So just recognizing that a lot of times when people give advice, they're talking to themselves through you, right? Even when Claire asked for advice on how to avoid losing focus, all of my advice was just stuff I tell myself to do, right? It was all just for me. And hopefully that advice helps for Claire as well. But, we all have different brains. We all work differently, right? Maybe Claire always gets distracted because she loves running around in circles outside. And she just can't stop running around in circles outside. My advice on how to put your phone down is totally irrelevant to someone who just wants to run around in circles outside. Yeah, I think if their advice is helpful to you, right? If you are struggling to know when to leave comments or something, then people giving you advice on how comments work, make sure your code is self-documenting. So you leave comments on why you're doing things, and then reading the code explains itself. I think that is helpful advice in general for programming. But if you have your own commenting system that works great for you, then you just stick with it. No problem. I keep on writing comments this code is horrible. Hopefully nobody sees it except for me. I do that too. I have some comments that bro, what are you thinking? Most people give advice they don't even self-follow. That's true. A lot of people will give advice to they're giving advice as if they were talking to themselves, and it's idealistic, right? It's if I were living my best self, this is how I would like to do things. What's wrong with running in circles outside? Absolutely nothing. Running around in circles outside is very satisfying. I don't run, but I walk around in circles outside a lot with Insandio, especially after dinner. Oh, okay. You going to bed? I drifted off for like 10 minutes. I wasn't prepared for the stream, so good night, guys. All right, good night. Okay, thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good rest. I know it's late in Australia. I love screaming about my bad coding comments. True. Red Skull guiding others to a treasure I cannot possess. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I just walk around my house for no reason. Yeah, I'll pace sometimes. Like I'll just like walk around. But usually if I'm gonna pace, I'll just like walk around in circles outside instead, because at least I'm getting some, fresh air. I forgot Godot has built-in buttons and recreated them like 3 times. Oh, like the export tool button. Yeah, I remember when they added it, I was very happy about it because I was tired of using booleans, just flipping booleans to do what they should have had in the inspector the whole time. But reading code is great for understanding how. Comments are great if you need to document the why. Yeah, I think that is a good general approach. Self-document the code for how, and commenting for why. I think that's a good approach especially for new developers. If you're like, how do people properly use comments? That's what. Also using comments to document future changes or upgrades or potential locations for bugs. Sometimes if I write some code and I'm like, I wonder if this has an issue with another system, rather than testing it right then, I'll leave a to-do for myself that's like, check this interaction with another system. And then I can just search for the to-dos in my comments and find everything that's like, oh yeah, right, I needed to check that. You should try twirling like a whirly bird sometimes until you're dizzy. Chat, giving advice you don't follow yourself is called Solomon's Paradox. Make this code less bad. Nice. Orange Cat Gamers, the beginning of the streams are Yap Central. I need to catch the vibe. True, yeah. I start the stream with talking to chat, answering questions, giving any updates, all that kind of stuff, and then I'll get into the games. Although I might get into the games a little bit earlier than usual today, just because that way I'll make sure I play some games before a potential migraine hits. Yeah, one of my symptoms for migraines is an impending sense of doom. So that's like, I can feel it. So I'm pretty sure there's one coming later. But I'm very lucky to have that symptom because the medicine for migraines, if you take it once the migraine started, it's way less effective. So if I get that sense of doom, I can take my migraine medicine and sometimes that'll stop it from happening. So I'm very lucky to have that symptom. He talks for like 1.5 hours sometimes, 2 if everyone's chatty. Yeah. Sometimes I talk for a long time. I hate this feeling, but it helps taking meds early. Yeah. The impending sense of doom from a migraine that's coming is like such a unique feeling for me. Yeah, my built-in countdown timer. True. To do deprecated warning, fix me why. It's getting way better. If the old version was good, this one is better. Oh, Mortis in chat. What's up, Mortis? You talking about Cannon Head? Oh, what's up? How's the remake going? Oh no, okay. You're talking about Mecco the Groven. I see. If a smoker told you not to smoke, him smoking doesn't make his advice less credible. Yeah, I think if you think advice is helpful, it doesn't really matter who it came from. But I think it is also valuable to consider the source, because someone telling you not to smoke because smoking has hurt them is talking from a firsthand experience with smoking, right? Similarly, a developer saying, don't do this in your code because it's going to make your life harder, even though it's something they do have the experience needed to give that advice because they have suffered with it in the past, right? Someone who has never seen a cigarette before, doesn't know what it is, giving you the advice about smoking, it's like, how would you know? You might be correct even, but how would you know? So I'd say just because someone isn't following their own advice doesn't mean it's not necessarily good advice. We're already in August of 2026. Time flies. Yeah, that's true. Oof. I can't believe it's already August. Brutal. 2/3 of the year done. 1/3 left to go. Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, not quite 2/3. That would be in the 9th month, which I know the name of. I know the 9th month. I don't even need to count. I don't need to go January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I don't need to do that to know that the 9th month is September. I just know that offhand. We all know that lines of code written is the sole measure of how good of a dev you are. But how much better does it make me than everyone? Like fundamentally, it's like an exponential increase. You know, if I write 1-liner of code and you write 2, you are like way better than me, right? If you write 100 and I only write like 5, that's like, you're like a 10,000 level. I'm a 25 level. So, What do you envision your future Isadora fan base to be bickering about? Ooh, interesting question. Interesting question. There are some events in the lore that I'm not going to explain extremely thoroughly. I'm not going to, like, you know, have a villain walk out and monologue what everything that was going on. But I have written this very extensive lore document for how a bunch of stuff works. And I assume there's like a couple things in that lore document that I think are going to be contentious between the people who figured it out correctly and are really convinced they're right, and then the people who interpreted it in a way that isn't quite accurate, but is still a fair reading of the lore. And I think people are going to argue pretty strongly. There's one detail in particular I can imagine people are going to argue about, but I'm not going to spoil or anything. I always forget to delete my print lines when debugging. I write the most random stuff in functions. So whenever I'm trying to debug, I have to sort through a bunch of unintelligible phrases. Yeah, I would say like print debugging is totally fine. It gets you there for sure. You can write your own logging system as well. That's something I did where it's like, instead of calling just general prints, I send it out to logs. And then if I want to check a bug that happened in like a playtest, I can get the log file and read through everything that happened. Additionally, I can choose which like different environments I want to actually get the logs from. So I can go into the logger and tell it which statements essentially to print, which log statements to print. So I can turn off certain, I can turn off the logging, like the live logging from like certain components, certain systems. Like I can only turn on the player controller's logging, and then that'll print out to the console. That way I can keep the console totally clean when I'm not trying to debug something, and I can go turn on the different elements as I need them. Additionally, I also have an on-screen logging system that I can press a button to enable my debugging view, and then the logs that I have enabled will print to the screen. That way, if I want to record a bug as it happens, I can turn the logging on so that it's so that it's on the screen, and then try to replicate the bug, and then I can go frame by frame in my recording to see exactly what happened. So there are like a bunch of different levels to how much precision you want over your logging and debugging tools and stuff. So I found an actual comment in the code that I can actually delete because the issue comment was pointed at. Because I fixed the issue the comment was pointed at. The comment was to create string helper for this, and it was for converting dict into string and other string related functions. Nice. Nadella Place, first time shout. Welcome, Nadella Place. Good to see you. I kind of hate the Godot mindset of games should never crash. Just kill the process if an error happens. I mean, I see the reasoning, but I would like an option or something. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from. It is annoying if like something goes wrong that the whole thing dies for sure, but also it prevents those errors from building up. So I think there's benefits and negatives, but I understand wanting it to be an option at least. I almost thought of changing the engine because it's very limited, but then I remembered that it was the whole point. True. I think limitations, create constraints breed creativity. Limitations help you, figure out what you want to do. So I shall depart to play some games now. Have a good day, friends. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Elijah. Good to see you. Have fun with your games. Super Mario Maker for level design. Any useful resources to learn game design and level design, like documents and explanation videos, not just advices? I think there are lots of good YouTube videos about game design. I think generally game design, one of the key facets is having the language to discuss the things you want to discuss and having the knowledge of how like systems interact. Because when you can put words to things, that helps you categorize your understanding. And so I think just being able to watch through other people's understanding of certain topics and watching, like, there are a bunch of good talks, a lot of good developer talks where people go over specific issues, and you can learn a lot from watching those. So there's a ton of great resources from like GDC talks and stuff like that. But just in general, anyone on YouTube making videos could potentially be giving you an incredible resource. So, Mr. Inbound Shovel, do you think the shamisen is a funny instrument? I'm learning. Hold on. I feel like I know what that is. Oh yeah, the traditional Japanese 3 strings, long fretless neck. Yeah, I mean, that's sick. Any useful resources to learn how to teach others game design? Oh, that's an interesting question, Claire. Because I think learning how to teach game design, I think you can just learn how to teach in general as a first step, and then you can apply those rules to game design. And I think learning how to teach, there's like a lot of stuff to it. And I think one thing is you have to make sure things are presented at a level that whether someone's a total beginner or they have a little bit more knowledge, both can grasp it without like losing the interest of either. I think that's a very difficult balance to strike. It's something I try to do with the scripts for my game dev secrets, where I present ideas in a way that's like a total beginner can walk away from it with some understanding, and someone who's a little bit more experienced can also walk away with it with some new understanding. And I think that's really valuable. Additionally, presenting the information in a way that can be absorbed by people with lots of different learning styles, right? Making sure that things both are explained clearly with language, like clearly, you know, with the words you use, but also with the visuals on screen, providing good examples so that there's something they can like, you know, anchor it to in their head, right? They're like, oh, this is like that thing. And I think having those mental anchors is very helpful. And then just good instructional design in general. I think there's a cooking channel, Internet Shaquille, who talks about educational design, like instructional design a lot. And I think in good instructional design is very, very hard to pull off and very almost not antithetical, but it's not exactly the general format of YouTube videos. I feel like YouTube videos in general and instructional design, they can go hand in hand. And I think better instructional design does also make for better YouTube videos, especially if the point is to be able to communicate about a thing you're trying to teach people. But a lot of videos are not optimized for helping people, like instructing, right? They're either optimized for entertainment. I almost said edutainment, but edutainment's like a whole different subject. So yeah, I think those are like high level, you know, but, any useful resources on how to teach others to teach others to teach others game design. So we talked about game design, teaching others game design, how to teach others to teach others game design. That's sort of what we just talked about. So the good advice on that was the thing I just said. So any resources on how to do that would be to watch me doing it live, right now, because no one else I think is going to get this deep on a bit. Are you ever going to host another beginner's game jam and win? I'm planning on doing it after the Isadora's Edge demo, which I'm trying to land sometime next year. That ideally early next year, but you know, it's looking like it might be a little bit longer than that. We'll see. Did I miss every one of you hitting that like button? Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, Tofu. Make sure if you're enjoying the stream, you hit that like button. Helps the stream tremendously. In general, engaging, commenting, liking, all that stuff is extremely helpful. So, yeah, theme just get finished. Yeah, I talked about that with Insandio. I thought how funny it would be for the theme to be finish your game. And for a while, we talked about the idea of doing a totally different kind of jam to the first one that was like a year long, and it was all about like making a full finished, polished game that's like Steam ready, basically. And so the theme of that was finish a game. So you went from just get started to just get finished. And that's why it was long and it was dedicated. And then I would be able to provide, like in Showcase Saturday, I'd be able to check in with people on the Finish Your Game Jam that was a year long. But ultimately, I feel like that would have like a lot of overhead and would be difficult to manage on top of all the Isadora stuff. But maybe it's something in the future if people are interested in it. Whenever I brought it up in the past, there were a couple people that were super interested, but I don't know how how much that actually holds on. You know what I mean? Only a small part of my viewers have subscribed. Yeah, actually, dude, it's actually shocking. Only 117% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So that number way lower. I want to get it up into like at least the low thousands. So make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you click that like button. Just, you know, help the stream out. What you know, what are you doing? Clicking like button. It might not be free, but sounds like a cool progress. But that's like a whole year of work from everyone involved. So it might not be a beacon. So it might be a beacon, but not a priority. Yeah. I gotta go. I'll be back in a while if you're still streaming. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Zardward. Good to see you. I forget what was the bit I was doing about liking the stream. But yeah, thank you for reminding me. Make sure you click the like button if you're enjoying the stream. It helps out a lot. Well, what will you do when Tofu 2 Go tries to stop me from winning the Shovel Jam 2? I will wish you the best of luck. Tofu is very powerful, so... I haven't subscribed to anyone in so long. I forgot it's an option. It's so funny. For a while when I used YouTube, I didn't subscribe to anyone. I just clicked on whatever video I was most interested in. It actually took me quite a bit of time to adapt to actually subscribing to people on YouTube. Now this was like 10 years ago or something. I've been subscribing to people for a while now, but something about the idea of like this person is making videos, I should subscribe to them so I can watch their videos. It just didn't click with me. I don't know why. but I've been, watching YouTube videos for a long time now. So, yeah, did you know 99.999% of my viewers are not subscribed? At first I was like, okay, but you didn't explain it in Unity, so this video wouldn't be that useful. Yeah, that's another thing that like I think is very valuable for instructional design, is making it applicable to lots of different stuff. It's like I get the comment all the time of like, okay, well, you explain the concept, but can you show me the code for it in Godot, or show me the code in Unity? It's like, the reason I don't put code in the video is because I want people to feel like it applies to them no matter what engine they're using, because the design concepts are universal, right? At least mostly universal. So, I need to unsubscribe to like 300 channels I subscribed to years ago. True. I have a 100% to 0 non-sub ratio. Yeah, it's like, I almost never unsubscribe to a channel once I've subscribed, just because building the habit to subscribe in the first place. But like, there are some channels that I've been subscribed to for a long time that like, the one example that comes to mind is there was a singer who tragically died. And it's like, it's always so sad when I see their name in my subscription list, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to unsubscribe, because that feels almost like an insult. But every time I see their name in my subscription list, it makes me feel sad again. So I guess that's just the sadness that I will forever hang in my heart as an honor to that very nice singer. What are you gonna do? I'm restructuring my YouTube completely because I have like 1,500 channels, half of which are for music, and I'm a little lost in it. So I'm creating a wrapper for YouTube with custom tags. So help me not getting lost in my subscriptions. 185 subs to 460K views. Holy smokes, that is a large differential. That's a bit extreme of an example. Yeah, as I was giving that example, I was like, is this too heavy for the stream? It's just the first thing that popped into my mind because I generally just don't unsubscribe from people. So I'm part of the 100 subs. I'm a good boy. Nice. I'm back. How's the quality Yab Sesh going? It's going really well. I definitely didn't say anything weird. I have to go. Hey, thanks for hanging out though. One video I made like 2 years ago is carrying my channel. I know that feeling. It is always funny when I look at like what's my best performing stuff of like the recent month. And it's like, oh, it's something I posted a year ago, and it just got randomly picked up by the algorithm again. So, yeah, unless the person does something horrible, I won't unsubscribe. Yeah, generally. Shovel your stream is quality slop. I guess I'll take it. It's a really, really good example, but the feels. Yeah. It's sad. Oh, and then, there was the, rest in peace to that Yu-Gi-Oh channel, Simu. I loved his videos. So sad to see him go so early. Rest in peace. Similarly to the Lumberyard dev, Ben. Rest in peace to all the YouTubers who have made great stuff. Very entertaining over the years. Moment of silence for them. Okay, we need to talk about Isadora herself. Her personality is like, what is her favorite fast food restaurant? Yeah, interesting. I did actually think about like, what should Isadora's favorite food be? It's funny, when I was talking to Insandio, she was like, well, Isadora's on like an alien world, so it should probably be some food that doesn't exist in reality. And I'm like, maybe it's some kind of like alteration of a real dish that like has some kind of alien spin to it, or some kind of sci-fi spin to it. I don't want it to be like cyber burritos from a vending machine or something, but oh, for me, it's techno, right? Yeah. Space tofu. True. Space tofu. What kind of achievements do you plan on implementing? I'm trying to make sure they're more meaningful than kill 50 enemies or eat food. Yeah, I'm definitely want to do some kind of achievements that are like progression based for sure. I think that's like a staple, because then you can look at how many people have gotten to a specific point in the game, beaten a certain boss, and I think those are really fun. Those are almost like comparison achievements. I almost feel like achievement design is its own subcategory of game design that like I've thought about a little bit, but I'm interested in what really goes into it. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's like I thought a while about doing a almost like a shiny Pokemon type thing for enemies, where it's like you can get really rare palette swaps very, very seldomly. And then maybe one of the achievements would be something like see one of every of every rare enemy coloration. But then I'm afraid of how that might affect the speed run if anyone wants to do a 100% speed run. But maybe if I don't tie finding that into the completion percent, then it doesn't need to matter if someone's doing a 100% speed run because they don't need to find all of them. And it opens up the potential for like a you know, the living bestiary of like, you need to, before you see another enemy, you need to add the special coloration of that enemy to your bestiary. I think that's a pretty fun concept. So, you know, that's something to weigh. And then you could put achievements around that and stuff. So, my favorite achievement of all time is the part where he kills you from Portal. Yeah, I feel like any video I would make talking about achievement design would have to do like a whole subsection on just that achievement, because I feel like that is probably the best achievement in all of gaming. I would be interested to hear what are other people's considerations for the best achievement in all of video games, but that's the one that comes to mind. That's the one that I think of probably is number one. Yeah, I have to imagine. Hey Shovel. Oh, Yohoga, good to see you. It's been a while since I've been on stream. I've been working heavy on my game. I think it's progressing. Exciting. That's awesome. Her favorite fast food should be the same as quesos. Pardon me for not being super familiar with queso, but isn't his favorite fast food all of them? The like handful of shorts I've seen from queso are him just pogging out about like every single different fast food option. So I don't know if he has a favorite. I haven't watched him very much though. My first achievement in Dewdrop was great. Was just called Resisting Temptation with the subtext, "We know you thought about it." Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I think the achievements that play with a player's expectations or like what they're expecting to do, are really cool. Except for Sonic Fries. I see. A basic story progression for killing certain bosses like Hollow Knight's a good start, I would think, where it keeps track of the whole player progression. Yeah, I really love being able to go into my achievements and see if people got as far as I did with like certain stuff. Like how many people did this, how many people did that. Like if I just go to Silksong's achievements and open them up, and then I can view my achievements, and it's like, oh, defeat. I don't want to reveal any super late game one, so I'm going to scroll down. Where it's like, yeah, defeat Lace in the Deep Docks, and it's like 77% of people have that one. I'm like, okay, nice, that's cool, that's cool. Stuff like that is very fun. There's some achievements I don't have. Oh, beat the game on Steel Soul. Yeah, obviously. Hey everyone, found your channel through the Game Dev Shorts. They're very helpful. Hey, glad to hear it. And I'm glad you like them. Welcome in. Dewdrop is great. Oh, right. Dewdrop. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I already have Dewdrop on my wish list, but if I don't, let me go make sure I add it so I can pick it up when I have a chance to play it. Dewdrop Dynasty. Oh, I didn't have it on my wish list. I would like to issue a formal apology to Goodgis. I hope you can forgive me. I have sinned and I apologize. It's crazy that I watch your videos and didn't have this on my wish list. That's my bad. That's my bad for sure. Yeah, exciting. Oh, the reviews are not bad. 168, very positive. We love to see that. The price drop. Oh, it was originally $20 and it dropped to 12. Interesting. I did see one of the top comments was like, this game isn't worth that much, which you always hate to see those kind of reviews, but I think the fact that Goodgis was able to adapt to that feedback and actually change the price, I feel like that's such a sign of like a strong character and a strong mental. That's awesome. I thought it was worth the original price, to be honest. That's high praise. I'm sure that feels good to hear for sure. Yeah, I need to add this to my list. How long have I been making Isadora's Edge? So for about 4 years now, but I have to put like a huge asterisk on that like for most of that time I was working on it part-time after work, and you know, I was doing some long hours of game development crunch. So there were like weeks where I would only get a couple hours to work on it. So 4 years feels like I've been grinding it out. And I have been grinding it out to some extent, but there were some, you know, there's on and off working a full-time job. It's hard to find the time. I've only been doing it full-time for a couple months. Yeah, and also I recently changed it to a Metroidvania, so that really like threw away a bunch of stuff I had been doing and changed a bunch of the stuff that I need to work on. But ultimately, I think it was a good decision. But Silksong being $20 doesn't mean other games should try to balance themselves around it. Team Cherry is too nice. Yeah. Pricing Dewdrop the same as Silksong was certainly a decision. It was a lot of effort. Yeah, I think $20 for the game, for a game of that size, like $20 is around like the bottom of premium indie, right? Generally, I think of premium indie as being 20 to 35 bucks, right? Anywhere in that range is like the premium indie, and then any indie game that's sitting at like $40 is like whoa. And so I think being at the bottom of premium indie is like a really good spot to hit, because it gives the idea that the game is like a premium quality product. That's like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a solid game. But also by being on the lower end of the premium indie pricing, you might get more people in there to actually purchase it. But so $20, I feel like, is such a good price point in general. Like my inclination for Isadora's Edge is to price it at like $19.98, so I can say it's cheaper than Silksong, because that really makes me laugh. Every time I think about doing that, it makes me laugh. So there's a good chance I do it just because I think it's too funny not to do it. But with that being said, I don't think you need to price your game based on comparisons to Silksong. Because Silksong is an unbelievable achievement. I mean, I don't even think you need to compare it to Silksong. I think with Hollow Knight in the mix, like comparing your game's price into Hollow Knight is already going to be unfavorable, because that game has, you know, so much content and it's so good and it's so cheap. When I first played Hollow Knight, I think I bought it for $3. Like, you hurt my feelings. I just asked if Isadora likes Burger King. What happened? I hurt your feelings? Oops. Sorry. I would like to formally apologize to you for hurting your feelings. I heard from a guy named Coded that as long as you can make a little square moving around the screen, you can make any game. Do you think that's true? Yes. It might not be fast, but I think if you're able to get into an engine and make a square moving on the screen, you'll be able to figure anything else out. I don't think every game is as simple as moving a square on the screen, but I think being able to get into game development, at least at that level, is going to set you up for being able to make a game you want, you know? Anyone will complain if a normal size Metroidvania is $20. Yeah, I think developers comparing yourself to Silksong is not like the greatest for your mental, but I do think, you know, on the marketplace, gamers, your core audience, they got Silksong for $20. So you do have to keep that in mind with your pricing. Is creating fake video essays about your game marketing tech? I don't know if it's tech, and I don't know if it would work. But it is very funny. The idea of just making a video essay about your own game and called it like the best indie game that no one's ever heard of. And you like get a script writer or write it yourself and like really just gas up your own game, drop it. Dude, even better, you sponsor a video essayist that already has a large audience to just make a video essay about how great your game is. Now that's the sauce. That's the kind of guerrilla marketing that I love to see. The way you talked about Isadora's Edge, I thought it was going to be a Metroidvania from the start. When you said you were changing to it, I was like, was it not one before? Yeah, I think in my head, I was doing a lot of design based on the fact that I love Metroidvanias and trying to force it to be linear, because I thought that would make things easier on me. And I think it would have made things easier on me in terms of how much content I needed to make, and how many systems I needed to make. But ultimately, I think I was hurting myself by trying to limit it in that way, because I was making decisions that I shouldn't have been making based on wanting it to be linear. And yeah, always full credit to Insandio for pointing it out to me, that she was like, it feels like you're doing a little bit of cognitive doublethink right here, where you're both considering this a Metroidvania and considering it a linear platformer. Why not just make it a Metroidvania? And I was like, you know what? That's so true, babe. So true. Igtap in the American Revolution. It do be like that. Oh, Igtap, is Vari in chat? I didn't see Vari. I really want to start making my own game, but to be honest, I'm scared. The worst thing is that I studied computer science and done a few game jams, so I just know I'll be terrible at scaling up. Yeah, I fully relate to that feeling of being afraid. I had that fear of letting other people play Isadora's Edge for a playtest for a long time. I was like, it has to be perfect before I let anyone else touch it. So I definitely understand both the fear of starting and the fear of like letting other people see it, especially when something means so much to you. So my advice would just be to like start pretty small. Like, don't aim for something. Like, if your fear is that you think scaling up is going to be difficult, try to avoid that at first, right? Make smaller games, put some stuff out that you think is going to be fun for people to play, and just like get your feet wet with the part that scares you. Uh, yeah, which is harder to multiply up to 100 faster, 2 or 0. You can't scale if you don't start. Right, but you also can't fail if you don't start. And I think that's the thing that holds a lot of people back. But I think, you know, there's I'm very inspired by Faker, the League of Legends player. And sometimes when I'm afraid of something going wrong, I just tell myself that Faker has lost more games of League of Legends than I've ever played. And I've played a lot. And so when I think about that, it puts it into perspective that, you know, the more time you spend failing is more time you spend learning. And even if you make mistakes or the game is bad or people don't like it, at least you got experience from doing it. And then you can apply that experience later. So yeah, you can't fail if you don't start is like the motto for people who, you know, keep your expectations low. That way you're never disappointed. And I do think managing your expectations is very valuable, but you also want to, you know, follow your dreams, right? And I think having big dreams is a great thing. So, yeah, Faker was bronze ones. What were those 5 Iron Frenzy lyrics? If I do nothing, I can't fail. No blistered hands, no broken nails. Yeah, I think for a long time, it was for me, especially back early on in my career, I was like, if I take these risks, they might not pan out. And so I'm afraid of taking these risks. It's better to not take the risks because then I don't have any chance of failing. But at some point I realized that if I don't just take the risks, like one day I'm gonna die and then I will have died never achieving my goals, right? So it's like I can either not achieve my goals by trying to do them or not achieve my goals by never doing them. And I was like, well, at least one of those options has the chance of achieving my goals, right? So I quit my job and then I managed to get a job working on Halo Infinite. You know, I quit my job at Amazon. I left before I had lined up the job to work on Halo Infinite. I just like took the plunge and it worked out. And then when I started Isadora's Edge, I, you know, hired artists. I put a lot of money into the game before I had any sort of audience, before anyone had seen it. I had spent more on the game than I think is reasonable when I still only had like a couple hundred subscribers on YouTube. And that was a huge risk and it could have not paid off. It could have been a giant mistake. But ultimately it ended up working out for me in a way that I'm very happy with. And so, yeah, taking the risk is scary and it can go wrong, right? There is no guarantee, but I think if you don't take risks, not taking the risk has a higher failure chance than taking the risk because if you don't take the risk, you will not accomplish the thing you wanted to accomplish, you know? So, Shovel, what would you say about a dev working with publishers for the game? I think that's a totally reasonable avenue for sure. Especially depending on what you're trying to do and how you feel about marketing, what kind of budget you have, what are your like expenses. I think all of those things can factor into working with a publisher, and sometimes a publisher is the right choice for sure. And also like finding a good publisher. There's like tons of horror stories of like publishers just like running away with money and never actually doing anything, or like really horrendous deals, or trying to like put their foot down on, like on the creative side and like trying to take authority over the game. Like there are horror stories about publishers, so you have to really do your due diligence and make sure you're not getting into a rough situation. But I think sometimes it's the right answer for sure. Also, thank you for your feedback on our GMTK game. We got really solid ratings. I think like number 161 overall. Oh my goodness, hold on. Checking it out. We're going to itch to check out your game. I want to see those ratings. What's the game called? I don't remember. I think letting passion take a back seat and just working on it like a job will make you not want to work on it, and then you'll quit. Yeah, I think making sure you don't like destroy your own passion for stuff is very valuable advice, Nikki. I think it's very good to make sure you're not letting the reality of the situation take away your reason for following your goals in the first place, right? I'm starting to feel like passion is not key. You got to treat your project like a job. It won't be that fun, but it will make you make continuous progress. Working when feeling like it will make you drop. I think there's like two sides to the same coin here, where it's like, I think you need to have the passion and you need to have the motivation and like you're following your like creative vision, to some degree. And then also you need to find the willpower to work through it even when things are rough, right? It's like not every single moment of working on the game is sunshine and rainbows. It's not like every second of solving bugs makes me want to like skip through the streets wearing a bright pink tutu, right? It's like sometimes I want to wear the bright pink tutu for other reasons, and the game dev that day didn't go that good. And in general, I think that being able to work through those moments is just a matter of like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's like those moments are like, this is hard, and I'm going to get through it, and then I'm going to get back to enjoying what I'm working on. And there are highs and lows of like every piece of a thing you're doing. And it really just depends on like what motivates you in general, to like keep going, right? Because if you despise every aspect of the game development process, like if it's like pulling teeth the whole time, then maybe you just don't like game development. I don't know. But I think trying to be too motivated on the final product and just like, I'm just going to slog through because I want to get to the end. I think that's going to have a hard time keeping you on the right path. I think you have to enjoy the journey, right? Because I mean, that's ultimately what everything is about, is the journey, right? Yeah, I just really enjoy making games for sure. Any proper dev has both. Yeah, I think it's both. You have to be able to have the motivation and the passion, and then also the discipline and willpower. But can you reference the distracted boyfriend meme in Isadora's Edge? Is that the one with the guy like turning around? Probably not, but I mean, if it's appropriate, if it fits in. I will never game jam alone anymore. I've never done a game jam as a part of a team. Other than like Insandio making some music for me. But for the most part, I'm kind of just like solo deving the whole time. So Monarch is my boyfrienemy. Did Monarch join chat, or are we just Monarch is my friend? Monarch is my boyfrienemy. Monarch is my enemy. So we've got like the whole gamut of Monarch opinions here. Did Monarch even show up in chat, or are people just popping off? I want to wear the bright pink tutu to run in circles in my backyard. Hell yeah. I spent a week sorting out how to make texture atlases for controller glyphs play nice. This is not sunshine and rainbows, but now it works. Yeah. I think that's a really good example of one of the things that you just kind of have to like get through. And it's like, it's interesting because sometimes I do really find the joy in like solving those problems. It's like stuff like that where it's like, oh, my key binding menu right now is like, there's like a bug with it. I need to solve this bug. And sometimes chasing bugs is fun. I don't know what it is in my brain that's like, sometimes I'm like, it's like problem solving. It's like solving a puzzle, right? I do love puzzles. So sometimes that's really fun. And sometimes it makes me want to pull my hair out, and I don't even have that much hair left, right? So, yeah, sometimes bug fixing, I guess it depends on how long I've been trying to solve it, right? Because puzzles are only fun for so long. If you're stuck on a puzzle, it stops being fun. I've been working on my dialogue editor V3, and it's very fun. Monarch is my acquaintance. Monarch is my brother. I'm lying. Now we need Monarch is my brother. I'm telling the truth. Monarch is my father. Monarch is my child. Okay. I have that post Isadora stacked team jam on my calendar. True. Monarch is Reaganleaf's father. Interesting. Half the time I just forgot to put an end somewhere random and it breaks my whole game. Yeah. What would be a good way to know when to take criticism to heart? Like say someone criticizes a mechanic, but the mechanic works exactly as you intended, but you can understand where they're coming from. Yeah, I think being able to properly take, categorize, interpret, and understand feedback is a very difficult skill to learn, and is a skill. Like it is 100% something that you have to practice and come up with methods for and figure it out. Because I don't think there's necessarily a one size fits all answer. Like if, one thing to keep in mind is that you want to get a wide array of opinions, right? You don't necessarily want to just take one person's word. You want to see what a lot of players think. And you also need to understand why players are saying the things they're saying and where that particular thing is coming from, right? It's like your example you gave where someone criticizes a mechanic, but the mechanic works exactly as you intended. Why are they criticizing the mechanic? Do they not like this genre? Do they not generally play this genre of game? So this mechanic is a staple, but they don't like it because they just don't like this kind of game. Are they criticizing this mechanic because the game is very similar to a game they love and the mechanic works differently, but you want this mechanic to differentiate? Like what is the reasoning behind the criticism? And do other players echo that same sentiment, right? It's like if you're making a tower defense game and you have a bunch of people that generally like tower defense games, and they all are giving you the same criticism of a mechanic that's like, this hurts my experience playing this game because this mechanic is going against something I like about tower defense. Well, then, even if the mechanic is working as you intended, if all the people who generally like this kind of game don't like it because this mechanic is taking away their fun, then maybe it's time to really reevaluate it, right? But if it's just one person, or it's someone who doesn't generally like that genre, if they're not your target audience, and think about, are there ways to improve that player's experience so that they don't have the issue with that mechanic without ruining the mechanic for your intended experience? Additionally, something I talked about in a recent short is that people like to give solutions rather than identifying problems. So if they're criticizing a mechanic, are they pointing out a problem with the mechanic? Or are they saying the mechanic should be changed because they think changing the mechanic is going to solve a problem that they didn't identify? Because if you can identify the problem they're trying to solve with the criticism that they're allaying against the mechanic, then you can actually solve the problem another way without hurting the mechanical experience, you know? It's like, it's hard to come up with an example off the dome because playtesting is a very specific situation. But I will say, you have to think about where their advice is coming from, why they're saying it, and actually boil down what they're saying. Additionally, one thing you can do with playtesting is you don't have to just like run one and then like call it. You can make a prototype version that changes the mechanic and see if that actually solves their problem. And you can playtest that same alternate version with other people as well to see if they are having the same positive experience from changing the mechanic. And then there is also just the creative vision argument where it's like, if you really like the way something works and someone else doesn't like it, you can just move on. You can just like say, you know what? I'm not going to struggle with that. It's been an hour, Shovel. So I need you all to understand. When I read comments like that in chat of like, you've been talking for an hour, or can we play games now? I specifically lengthen the talking section because I don't want to incentivize people to leave these kind of messages. So if you want the games to start, the best thing you can do is just to engage in chat normally. Similarly to when people ask me to play their game, they're like, can you play my game? I'm like, well, now I specifically have to move that game down the list because I don't want to incentivize people begging for their game to be played. You know what I mean? The community is just too goated. Please don't extend the talking section. That would make me so sad. But that being said, post it to link the app section. To be honest, I like the talking part more than the playing part. I have noticed that. Like, the chat really slows down during the playing part, but I think it's because I'm not that good at reading chat while I'm playing. That's a skill I need to work on. So if I want to keep talking, I can ask to start playing games. I live for the talking section. More yapping. But I do think I probably need to start the gameplay section soon, because it would be really unfortunate if I start playing one game and then the migraine hits. So with that, yeah, Shovel always takes a long time to... what's the correct way to request a game being played eventually? No rush. Just post it in the Showcase Saturday forum. And then you can bump your post in the Showcase Saturday forum. I wouldn't like spam a bunch of bumps, but you know, once a week, or you know, every Showcase Saturday, bumping it again so that it moves back up to the top, so I know you're like actively waiting. I think that's totally fine to do. But Shovel always takes a long time to play games. But yeah, with that being said, I do think I should start the games. So let's do that. You don't play them in the order that the post is created? No. I try to organize them. First, I make sure the game works properly and I can actually play it on stream. There are some games that, even though they've been posted, they aren't working. And so I'm waiting for the dev to like fix the bug or whatever. And then I don't want to play, like, if three people all submitted a 2D platformer, I don't want to play them back to back to back, because that third person is going to get a worse experience because they're going to be being compared immediately to the two games before, and maybe I won't repeat the feedback. So if they only watch their section, they can't get the feedback as nicely. So I try to separate them out a little bit. So, should I fix some bugs before you play? You can totally fix bugs before I play it. You can keep updating it, no problem. What if all 3 2D platformers are me and it's Nikki Saturday stream? Then that sounds like a good day for your boy. Longtime fan here. One question. Do you think GD Quest 2D Godot course is worth getting? I don't know. Let me go look. GD Quest. So I think I've seen some of GD Quest's videos, and I think their videos are generally quite good. However, it looks like their course is also a little bit pricey. So if you have a bunch of expendable income, then drop a super chat. Then check out my Patreon. No, if you have a bunch of expendable income, and you want to support this creator and you think they make good stuff and you learn well from them, then I think it could be good for you, because I don't think they're making bad tutorials. But there's so much tutorial content available for free that if you're strapped for cash, I don't think you need to spend the money to learn how to make it, you know? So yeah, I wouldn't spend money on a course with how much free learning resources there are that exist. I think this is a fair assessment. I have spent money on courses from creators I think are making good stuff to see like what's going on, like with what they're making. Additionally, I've spent money on courses from pixel artists because I want to see what they're doing and see if there's anything I can learn from them. I think Heartbeast is a great example. I bought Heartbeast's pixel art course, and he had some really nice tips about animation. And also his course was really cheap, I think. And so I think supporting creators, especially if you know you gel with their learning style, you can do it. And based on GD Quest's videos, I think that they're making good tutorials. I think you're probably going to get some good learning resources from these courses, but if you don't have the money, I don't think you need to spend it. Yeah, I spent $7K on college, but dropping $10 on a course is too far. Wishlisted Isadora's Edge. Hope it comes out soon. Blows up. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to force you to play Deltarune. Okay. Do you have any advice on level design? I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the stream, but just try to follow some guidelines you set for yourself. Come up with some rules for level design, like what's the intended player experience you want people to have, and then follow those guidelines as you're designing your levels. But okay, let's get into some games. And if you want the full, I talked for quite a while about it at the beginning of the stream. You can probably find it. First up, the background of the stream looks dope. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. This is I commissioned an artist to make Isadora wallpapers, and they also made this cool background, so I've been using it. Okay. As a proud owner of a free Twitch chat Chrome tab, I can highlight my message without money. That's funny. I'm going to force you to play Ultra Kill. Also, you want to keep money for emergencies. Last year, right after the game jam, my PC straight up stopped working. Took me a long time to get a replacement. That's helpful advice too. Having a nice savings built up can help you stay comfortable. It's like right now I am burning through my savings working on Isadora, which is why everyone supporting on Patreon, everyone dropping a membership, the super chats, it's all extremely helpful. I can't emphasize enough how much the people supporting the channel and supporting the game are helping keep it going, because, you know, it's just the fundamental reality of making games is it's expensive and takes a long time. So the support goes a long way. So just a quick moment to let all of my supporters know I appreciate you. And if you can't financially support like straight up by dropping money, I totally understand that because everyone's financial situation is different. Like even me right now, I'm not in a situation to really afford supporting people outside of, you know, playing their games on stream, which hopefully people like. But just watching the stream, clicking the like button, stuff like that is also tremendously helpful. So thank you. Okay. We're going to play a game called Cherry Bomb. Boom. Well, hold on. Okay. Turn on the audio, switch over. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hold on one second. Okay. It gave me a laugh, but holy my ears. Okay. Hope you all enjoyed that. A little audio experience for everybody. Okay. Shovel, I will warn you. In 3 months, I'll be done relocating and will work for like at least a month on a new job. I'll be ready to upgrade a tier on Patreon. The only problem is there is no higher tier. Thank you, Earl. I appreciate that. Maybe I gotta make one. I don't even know what kind of rewards I would offer on a higher tier. Let me know if you have any ideas. Okay. Revenge of the Tartans. Rise of the Crust. I thought this game was called Cherry Bomb. Okay. All right. Wiggle around. Okay, spacebar is jump. Flame. Sure. Ooh, I built a house. Let's go. What's this? Upgrade tower. Okay. Upgrade tower. Can I spin my... Looks like I have some resources. I have wheat, dough, cherry, and bloob. Some bloob. I can bake. Ooh, I can bake a tartan. Okay, that'll count down to baking. Okay. What's this thingy? 1, 2. Oh, that's my wheat. Okay, so I'm baking my wheat. Does the wheat become dough? I have to assume. Take him down. Nice. Okay, I collected my dough. Get him, Tartan. Yeah, boy. Yay. Nice job. Oh, he dropped a cherry. Oh, can I collect this wheat? Nice. Oh, good, you're awake. I'll let you get this place ready for the absolutely insane thing that's probably on its way. Thank you. Was that the moon? Okay, got some dough. Let me put my wheat in here. Now I got a cherry from defeating that guy, so I can bake a tarcher. Oh, tarcher, like a tart archer. Got it. I can bake a dock tart. I'm guessing dock tart is like a healing unit, and then the tartan is like a warrior class. So let's do another warrior, another archer, another dock tart. And then I can build... What's this? That's a wall. These are towers. Okay, there's a wheat field over here, and then I can build this house. Okay. I'm guessing the houses grow the wheat. Okay, so I should put... I need to defend that house, actually. Upgrade a tower, and then let's go put the wheat so I can collect more dough. Nice. Okay, let's throw in another tartan in the mix. And then I want to go build a tower next to this house. I think. Is there one? Where is this in? By the way, I love the background. I feel like the background is very, very nice. Like, this asset's very cute. The parallaxing's really nice. You got some stars. You got some clouds. I think for being very simple and made quickly, I think it works really well. Nice. Okay, we're growing wheat. Perfect. Gonna go collect the dough I baked and put some more wheat in the oven. I think that'll be good. Okay. I got plenty of warriors right now, so maybe I should just go build all my stuff. Can I use my dough to further upgrade the towers I already have? Oh my gosh, they're going buck wild over here. I can bake... Oh, I can bake archers and stuff in the tower. Okay, let me collect these. Thank you. Oh wait, did I attack? I can't tell if I'm attacking or not. Let me make another tower here. Boom. Can I upgrade the tower with my cherry I got? Nice. And I can bake a tarcher over here. That's cool. I can make another tower. And I can make a wall. Sure. I don't know. Don't really know what all of that stuff is doing, but at least it's giving me some nice resources. Yeah, mess him up. Mess him up, Tartan. Hell yeah, brother. Okay. We got the doctors. We got the archer. Oh, so one thing that's happening here, I think, is I have multiple enemies and the sprites are stacking. Oh, I can't go get the pickup. What the heck? Give. Aw, man, that sucks. Would be cool if you did Godot code reviews at a higher, like, Patreon tier. Interesting idea. Interesting idea. I see Castle, I get interested. Okay, let me go collect this wheat. Looks like I have 6 slots. Collect my dough. And then let's start baking all this wheat so we can get some more dough available. Looks like I'm at 8 of 35 units. But yeah, so the sprites are stacking on top of each other. You can put like little spheres of influence on these units so that they can't perfectly overlap. I'm extremely confident that what is about to happen will occur. That's true, honestly. Oh, that's not ready to collect yet. Okay. Nice. Let's get another tartan baking. And let's get another tarcher baking. Let's go get these towers online. And then I think we have another tower out here. And then I can keep upgrading the towers out here. I wonder, should I be upgrading the ones that are closer to my actual... Oh, hey, it's a cherry guy. What's up? What's up, dork? Hey, why are you attacking my tower? That's rude. Get out of here. All right, see you later, bozo. Boom. See you later, bozo. Just keep pushing this guy away. Nope, that's my tower. See you later. Yeah, get him, Tartan. Oh no. Well, don't get him that good. I want to be able to collect the resources. Okay, they kind of got stuff on lock over here. Actually, I think they sort of got it handled. Collect this wheat. Nice. Okay. Is this another wall? I don't have any dough. Well, I'm about to have a bunch of dough. Nice. Cool. The joke that popped into my head to say was, call me Jeff Bezos the way I'm stacking my dough, but that feels almost complimentary, so I feel like I need to make the joke, call me Jeff Bezos the way I'm stacking my dough, in parentheses, derogatory. Gotta do a little bit of specification. Bake some tartans in here since I have the dough for it. Now I can upgrade the tower over here if I really want to. Okay, get some more wheat. Okay. Oh, they destroyed my tower. Rude. Oh my gosh. So many cherries. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of peeps over here. Upgrade the tower. Upgrade the wall. Oh man, I'm taking damage. Rude. Oh, give me the cherries. Oh, snark. Okay, okay. I am a computer. In parentheses, smart. Brother, why are you so... Dude, he's so mean. Oh my god, I'm getting messed up. But at least my towers are holding. I actually can't... I'm trying to parkour my way in there. Got it. What's up, dork? All right. You guys got this on lock, I think. Good luck. Hopefully my tower isn't getting completely run over on the other side. I don't know for sure. A bunch of dough for me to collect, though. I hear the sounds of battle. Let me make some dock tarts. Tartan, dock tart, tartan. Just need a... yeah, I only have 3 units. Holy smokes. Okay. And my towers can create tarchers, right? So I should get a couple towers on the tarcher front. Oh, I can put the tarcher... I see. Okay. Get out of here. That's my tower. I got you, tarcher. We're a team, brother. Okay. Ow. Nice. Great teamwork. And we got a doctor here, too. He's helping. Okay. Can I upgrade this further? Oh, I can upgrade with a bloob. Don't mind that. Ow. Ow. Okay. But luckily I have double doctor over here. I completely forgot the name of this game. This game is inspired from. Right. I think they said this game was inspired by something. It's King TNT. Oh, TNT. Oh no, he's gonna explode. Uh-oh. Upgrade. Upgrade again. Bake a tarcher. Can I bake a tarcher here? No? Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something bad is happening, and I don't know what it is. Yep. We need as many tartans as we can get. Quickly, on the front lines, team! Where is the king? I forgot to bake my wheat. Is the king over here? Oh my gosh, there's so many resources. Can I get them? I would really love to collect those resources. Okay. Well, you know what? I don't need those resources, actually. Those resources are for dweebuses. Dweebus and bilbuses, you know? Okay. Where's the king? I should really have loaded up the bakery here. Let's get a tarcher running. All right. We got 2 guys stationed here. Bake another tarcher, I guess? Okay. For some reason, I can't click bake tarcher. Oh, because when you bake the tarcher, they get put on the tower. I see. I see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bake a tarcher into the tower. Haha. Mess him up. Great tower. Take him down. Team. I feel like all my tartans are going the wrong direction. Get him, tartans. Nice. We're doing good damage here. All right. I'm going to go get some reinforcements. You guys hold strong. All right. You guys are just holed up in the towers over here. That's my bad. Tartans, Get some dock tarts in there. Get a tarcher in there. Get some tartans in there. Okay, let's load up the wheat. And we defend! Back to the front lines! They will never take our souls. They said, you'll never amount to anything. You're just baked goods. Can a muffin fight on the front lines? Can an apple strudel save the land? Ah, show them what you're made of. Ooh, show them your soft, doughy centers. Ow. Brother, stop. Okay, I'm gonna die. Alright, good luck, guys. Hope you enjoyed my my nice inspirational speech. I think you got it from here. Okay, I'm gonna go bake some more reinforcements. You guys got this. You guys got this. Oh shit! You guys don't got this. Oh, did I die? Bake. Bake like your life depends on it, for it does. We need torchers. We need bloobs. We need torchers. We need torchers. Ah! Defend! Lay your lives on the line. Ah! Ah! So it seems like the towers are pretty useless if I don't upgrade them with a Tarcher, huh? Boom. Take one of those. Hey, call me in the morning. Alright. We need more Tartans. Load up here. Let's hope the king is still taking damage. So I think we're pretty good on that side. We've pushed back the invaders! Stay strong! Okay, I can't put a Tarcher in that tower. Oh, because he's like underneath it maybe? I don't know. They may take your lives, but they will never take our home. Alright, alright. Push, push. Why is that? Dude, that guy is standing on like the cherry's heads. What a jerk. Ah, ah. I will go create more reinforcements. Okay. Actually, my priority here should be loading this up. Yeah. And then let's get some more Tarchers, some more Dock Tarts, some more Tartans. All right. Bake as fast as you can. Bake like your life depends on it. Oh, is the king down? The king's down. Hey, Joan, you did it. Just barely. Let's go. Feel like this game could happen in the Adventure Time universe. Pizza pie. Nice. All right. Let's think critically about this game and see if we can provide some feedback. This is based on Revenge of the Tartans. So I'm actually curious about that game. Let me go to this view real fast and see what is Revenge of the Tartans. Revenge of the Tartans. Oh. Is very similar. Oh, Cherry Bomb is almost like an expansion. Was built using an existing project. Okay, but by the same team, right? This was by... Ah, okay. So they released this game for a game jam in 2024 and then added like an expansion to it for GMTK. Okay, so I think that's fine. Because it seems like it's, you know, still their own their own project. Okay, cool. So, I think the fundamental idea here is very sound. I think it works quite well. Of like, you collect resources and you use those resources to create your units, and the units like are used to defend from like invading enemies and stuff. I think that makes perfect sense. No issue there. I think my the first piece of feedback I have is like the player is like a little bit unclear. Like I can just push them, but I can't like attack really. So I can use my horse to like buy time basically. And like that's interesting. Where are my units? Okay, there's a Dock Dart. But I can't really fight. And then also there is the like weird issue where it's like there is a wall at the edge here. and I can't get past it. And so if any of the drops happen beyond that wall, they're just inaccessible, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I think fundamentally the design of this game works really well. It's like a tower defense, but also you have to move around and strategize. And then because you have like a limited speed and you have like a limited, I have no one fighting over here. Because you have a limited speed and like limited resources, and you can't tell what's happening, you can like run into situations like I did, where I went to the side and all of a sudden there was like a oh, I thought I had dough. Oh no, I put them in there to bake. Where I went to the side and then all of a sudden there were a bunch of units like attacking my castle and I didn't even realize that was happening. I think that's very fun. I think that works really well. But I do think right now the player's character feels a little bit strange. I don't have any sort of like dash or movement increase that I can use to like, you know, try to buy myself time or buy myself, you know, a little space to figure out what's going on or to like get over there and deal with something. And I think a little bit of that would probably help a lot. On top of that, I do think this didn't happen to me the first time I played at all. But I do think in this run, I'm running into an issue where like, why are all the enemies here? Or why are all my units here when the enemies are out here, you know? It's like they should be fighting. There's something interesting to be said about what if the enemies followed the player. That way, you know, I'm like leading them into combat. I think that could be interesting. Additionally, I think for a game jam, it like runs out of steam when you like beat the final guy. And then there isn't really much replayability, and I think that's fine. But I do think there's an interesting concept here of like being able to create, you know, orchards or whatever to build up your own like cherry orchards or blueberry farms or whatever, so that you can get more resources. And then obviously you can lean into like tech trees and stuff. But it's interesting to me. So I upgrade and bake. And I upgrade and I bake. And let's see what that does. But yeah, there's definitely a... Oops, not what I meant to do. Like, because I have to defeat the enemies to get my resources, there's a huge limitation on it. And I think that does play well with like how I'm trying to navigate things. But yeah, overall, I feel like the total design here works. I think you could add more player options so that I feel like I have a little bit more stuff to do. Oh, this guy, the sun and moon drops resources. Okay, I did not notice that at all on my first playthrough. I did not notice that at all. Okay. Oh, I don't have any of that. Oh, I can upgrade the wall further. Okay, I didn't realize that at all. And removing Garrison, I'm guessing, is how I can get him off of the wall. But yeah, it's like right now I want to like work on upgrading my towers and stationing all the Tarchers. But because I have the limitation that I need the enemy resources to do it, this day cycle where I don't have enemies to fight, I feel like there's like nothing going on. I like the idea that I have my one bakery here where I can like start like mass production of my units. I think that's a fun concept. I think that works. Yeah, I wonder if you need more enemy spawns. Would that help? That way there is always like something for you to do. I can always hunt down the enemies. But yeah, I feel like you have a really strong foundation here for something that could work. You could either do it level based, so that you go to a future stage and there are like new enemies, new layout for towers and stuff. This really reminds me of Jonas Tyroller's game, right? The one he made where the spots where you can upgrade buildings and stuff are laid out on the map. I haven't played that, but I did watch his series on it. And the design of this is reminding me of that for sure. But yeah, overall, I think this game is just really fun. I think it works quite well. I'm trying to think of like if there's any like useful feedback, because it's a game jam, right? So I fully recognize that there's like a yeah, this is that's something that came to mind when I was playing. They build up this like wall of destruction of enemies that like once they have ranged attacks that push you back, it's impossible to like get over there and actually collect the resources, which can be a little bit can feel a little bit silly for sure. And I think you could probably have something that improves that feeling. I can't bake a tartar, right? Can I upgrade further? Yeah, okay. But I don't know what upgrading further is even doing for me here, but can bake some more tartans. I feel like my understanding of the game's a little bit better, but I don't know if that's actually leading to better decisions at all. Nice. Grab some more wheat if I can. Yeah. But overall, I think the individual micro of controlling the character, putting stuff in, honestly, it's like the game, I think, just works as a whole. So, oh, that's cute. I love the little upgrades that you get on the doorway as you upgrade it. That's so cute. And I can create a door. Can I still create a door? Does this upgrade the door further, or? Still costs one. I don't know if I'm making the door any stronger, or if I'm just like wasting dough. But okay, buy a door and bake a tartar. Nice. Yeah, I like how I'm building out for my tower. I think this version of playing it is more satisfying, where I'm building slowly outwards. And I think it would be really nice if there was like some, like at least one farm or one source of wheat in the town with me, so that I can slowly expand my areas out. Rather than needing to rush over here to collect the wheat. I think that could make it more satisfying as well. Okay, the king's here. Now, it's entirely possible that by only upgrading so close to me, I've cooked myself a little bit. So we'll find out, because it might be totally fine, but it is interesting to think about. Okay, did I ever upgrade this one with a tartar? No. But I spent the cherries and nothing happened. That's so strange to me. If he comes from the left, I mean, I got a pretty nice garrison over there. I should start baking tartans, huh? Also, I love the way that you use the music. I know you all can't hear the music right now because I mute it for the feedback section. But I think the music has worked really well. Yeah, see, because now I have like a strategy here where I have my like fortified archers at these stations. And then I have the tartan factory that's like keeping the enemies away from those stations. And I think building those kind of strategies in is actually quite fun. And I think leaning into that a little bit more could be the way you keep going, because you can have different layouts. And I think having different layouts will make the game more engaging. Can't get enough of this great door content. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of rocking with this door. Although my tartans are currently pushing the back. Yeah, that's something I can imagine people getting frustrated with. Is like not really having control over your units. And so the tartans are kind of just doing their own thing. And while I don't think that's like a big deal, I can see it being very frustrating for certain players where it's like, I don't want to have my tartans like sacrificing themselves for no reason. Weehaw! So I think I've pretty much fortified my whole base over here. So I should just start pumping out my like support units, huh? Nice, load these up. All right. Let's see if my cool fortified tower structure over here gets the job done. I swear I spent multiple cherries on this tower. Oh, the archer's like on the ground inside the tower. That's interesting. Got the bloobs. All right, so now we can upgrade you and upgrade you. I don't really know what those are doing. That's another thing is like, I think the upgrades are cool and the way they stationed the archer there. And it seems like maybe the tower and archers that are stationed there heal, or they have like a healing radius or something is what I'm guessing. But it's not obvious that that's what's going on. So I think having some more communication for the player so they know what's going on would be cool. Because fundamentally it works really well. But rather than needing to figure it out, it would have been nice if I knew how this worked on my first playthrough. But there is, it's because it's a game jam, I think, is the reason why there's a bit of a struggle, is that in a game jam, I just play it once and then it's over. Like the replayability isn't very high, but the way I learned how stuff works in that first playthrough was pretty satisfying. So if it went to a second level with a different boss, and now I understand the mechanics better, so I can have more of a strategy, but it's also harder because now I have more of a strategy to it. I think that's a good way to keep building on it. But due to the nature of it being a game jam, I didn't really build on my understanding because there's nowhere to go once you finish it. The game is done, but I do think it serves its purpose as a game jam really well. Yeah, my fortified tower structure is going wild here. I thought I needed to do more to protect the houses so that I had access to the wheat, but it just seems like that's not nearly as relevant as I thought it was. Yeah, I think to expand on this game, I think it was a good call for a game jam to make it really easy, right? I think this game is very easy. And I think that works to its benefit, right? Because in a game jam, people like it when they can finish it. They don't want to have to play through a bunch of times. And so I think the fact that it is so easy to win is a good decision. Maybe there could be like a shout or rally button to call the Tartans to gather around you. Yeah, I think that could work where it's like, where you can call units to follow you and any units in a range will like, group around you and follow to battle. And then also you can look at what other games did to solve the same problem. Because I think in general, being able to grab a couple units and bring them with you would be good. It also wouldn't be bad to like have a way to select different types of units. Like you can tell your archers to fall back or tell your melee units to run forward. But I do think right now there is a little bit of a fun simplicity in the fact that the units just do whatever and I'm just trying to like overwhelm them. But I think that could lead to player frustration, especially if the game was harder. But yeah, I think there are a lot of cool ideas for stuff you can do here. And overall, I really enjoyed it. I think you made a great game, especially for a game jam. I would love to see what you did with a full version, because I think the current systems you have work really well together. I think the laying structures down in specific spots works really well. I think the art was very cute, and I think the one single playthrough through the game was very satisfying. So I think you did a lot of things very correctly as far as a game jam goes. As for how to expand this, I feel like there's a lot of ways you can take it, and I think it could work. But yeah, great job. I feel like I don't have super meaningful feedback on this one. I feel like there's like a few minor nitpicks, and otherwise it was just a fun game jam game. So great job. Let me go to my talking head view, and we can open up the next one. Okay. Oh, and the theme was countdown, right? So that was like a countdown until the king shows up. I guess it works. And also, as you're like baking stuff, it counts down. That's fine. This one is called Rolling to the Zero. Is there no full screen button? Oh, wrong button. Okay. No full screen, but that's fine. I can do this. So, rolling to the zero. Turn on some music. The music fits the art style really well. Yeah, I really like the style. Both the visual style and the music style works really well together immediately. Rolling to the zero. House rules. Choose how many dice to roll. Reach exactly zero. If you bust or run out of dice, you lose. Okay. Not sure exactly what that means, but I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. Next shop in 2 turns. I get $20 if I score more than 30. Okay. Well, more than 30, I'm going to have to use, like... I have D6. I have 8 of them. The expected roll on 8d6 is, like, 3.5 times 8, so it's not even 30. But, I mean, I can ship it. Come on. Come on, give me more than 30. Luck be a lady. Not even close. Not even close. What did I get? 5. 5, that's 10. 15. 21. So 25? Okay, not close. That's all my dice. So I should gain them back. Oh, let me see if I understand this. If I click next turn, do I instantly lose because I used all my dice? Alright, and the dice count down from this big global indicator. Okay, no more dice is a loss. Got it. So I need to keep my dice. I wasn't sure if I got new dice back every turn or not. Score an even total. Well, with an even total, I should just roll a single die, right? Because 2, 4, and 6 are equally likely. Okay, well, didn't get it. And I can re-roll all my dice. Okay. Is it worth $4 to reroll? I don't think so. I don't know how much $1 is worth. Score less than 8. Well, that's a guarantee. Boom. This is a free $10. Boom. All right, and then this should go down to 33. Okay. All right, and I have 20 bucks. I can buy 8 D3s. I can, and that's 10 bucks. I can buy individual are those D8s in the corner? Okay. Remove the lowest dice. Take back every dice. Take back every dice? Oh, so that's just like not rolling. Remove the lowest or highest die adds instead of subtracting. Okay. So I'm going to need some of these for being able to actually finish this, but let's just buy the dice pack here. And then I'll take backfire. That might help me. All right, back to game. So I have 6 D8s and 8 D3s. Score an even total. So 2 D3 is either 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. What's the most common result for 2 D3s? 2 D3s. Because they're both 1, 2, or 3. So I think 2 D3 is my best bet here. I could be wrong about that. Yep, what are you going to do? Didn't get the money, but I am counting down. I have 30. Score less than 8. Well, that's a guarantee on a D3. I'll take that free 10 bucks. Easy peasy. Okay, a free $10. Yeah, and this goes down to 27. Score more than 30. If I score more than 30, I count all the way down. It says if I go below 0, I lose, though, right? It said that? If it goes under 0, you lose. Okay, so scoring more than 30 means I lose. So I don't want to do that. I don't know how to tell you how much I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to refresh the bet. Roll 3 different values. Okay, 3 different values. So I should roll 3d8. And let's throw D3 in there too. This should be 1, 2, 7. Okay, so I hit 3 different values. 1, 2, and 7. And then I'm going to count down by 12. So I'm going to be at 15. So I think that's pretty good. Get $10 and I go down to 15. All right. 8 D12s. I can buy D3s. Okay, I think D3s are going to be pretty valuable for trying to get exactly to 0. So I should buy some D3s for sure. Gain back every die that was used. Okay, that's pretty good. So I should buy the refund and buy this. Okay, back to game. Score more than 12. If I roll a 5 D3, the max I can get is 15. I think rolling 5 D3 and then taking them all back here is pretty good. My minimum is 5. I'm not likely to get more than 12, but my goal here is not necessarily to get to 12. I'm trying to set myself up for success here. So let's gain back every die. Okay. All right, so I have 6. Okay, a 6. Roll at least 3 dice. Okay. The highest die adds instead of subtracting, so I have a way to get out of jail if I roll too high here. So 5. Oof. Okay, I need to roll a 1. Luckily, I have D3. So we roll a D3. And so we have a 1/3 chance of just winning here. And if not, we can re-roll. Nice! No, okay, I thought it landed on 1. Okay. So we re-roll this. All right, now we add that back. Okay. It was a good chance. Score more than 12. Well, I would instantly lose. And I think I cooked myself a little bit here. I only have 1 D3. So I think we just have to ship it on a D8 here and hope we don't lose. Oop, okay. Game over.
Game over.
Nice try, nice try. We had a pretty good shot on that turn where we rolled a single D3. 2, 1, and 3 chances, and then we got to send it on another chance. Okay. Let's do another short countdown. See if we can take this. Score more than 30. So I have 8 D10s. So if we want more than 30, re-roll. I can re-roll. More than 30, let's send 6. The average is a 5.5. So 6 times 5.5, we get like a 33. A 33. Any more than this, I feel like I'm risking too much. I might just instantly lose. What did I get? I got 10. I got 28. Oof. I need to reroll here. I think if I miss this, I lose. Oh, I'm instantly dead? Wait. Hold on. That's 20. Yeah, I think I'm instantly dead. Nice. Good start. Well, sometimes you lose on turn 1, huh? I'm inbound spoon. I'm a shovel, but worse. It do be like that, huh? The art soundtrack, low-key slap, and the concept super inventive. I totally agree. Score more than 12. Okay. So we just put in 4 of these. Boom. Easy money. All right, 14. So we get more than 12. Easy peasy. And then this goes to 28. Okay. All right, score less than 8. Well, that's a guarantee. We always take guarantees. Okay, remove the lowest die is very valuable. So I think the most valuable upgrades beyond getting more dice so that you can stay alive are the ones that let you finely tune the results you get when you roll so that you can actually like hit the number you need, you know? I wonder if they just recorded their actual hand and added some effects. Yeah, I think they probably rotoscoped their hand for this game. D20s are super, super risky. D20s are so risky. The lower the value on the die, the better. But remove the lowest die. The highest die adds instead of strength. Okay, we won't remove the lowest die because that gives us a lot of control. Okay. Roll at least 3 dice. Okay, roll... Ugh, the D20s are so brutal. So brutal. We got 3 turns. Roll at least 3 dice. Is rolling 3 dice worth it here? If we roll all 3 D6s, no, we just roll a single D20 and hope we don't instantly lose. Okay, on the next turn. So now we're at 8. Roll 4 different values. Okay, that's not happening. What do we want to do here? We roll a single D20 because we can get rid of it if it's too high. Going to a 2 here. Okay, no, going to a 2 here is fine. Roll 3 different values. So we roll a single D6 and we get rid of it if it's if it's not a 2. Okay, get rid of that. All right, next turn. Okay, we have $7. Unfortunately, we didn't get any bets we could actually do. Remove 1 from every die. Removing 1 from every die is pretty... Remove 2 from the highest die. Okay, 2 from the highest die is extremely important. Okay. We have 2 shots. 2 shots to win this. We win on a 2 or a 4. A 2 or a 4. A 1. Does this help us at all? We lose in... We only have 4 turns. We have 4 turns to the next shop. With 4 turns to the next shop, if we pass this turn, it'll be 3 turns to the next shop. We're probably not gonna make any money unless we get a really good bet that's like roll less than a certain amount, right? So if we get less than roll less than like 8 or whatever, we can actually finish that bet and get some money. But that means we win on a 1, we win on a 3. Yeah, I think we just take this because this technically doesn't change our outs. All right. Well, double 1 was pretty lucky, I think. I think our odds were not as good as in the previous round, but we got there. Nice. Okay, we did the short cooldown. Let's do the medium cooldown. That was a pretty lucky out. Pretty lucky out. You also win on a 2 because of -1. True. At least 1 die shows 1. So I need to roll at least one 1 to get $8. Cut low removes the lowest dice. I have 8 die. I get a shop in 2 turns. If I get a shop in 2 turns, I really want this $8, which means I should roll. That's tough. That's tough. Cutting the lowest die doesn't help us get this at all. If we roll 4 dice and miss this bet, it's like we instantly lose. If we only roll a single die, we're going into the next one with like no coins. What are our odds? Each one, if we roll 4 dice, not getting a 1 is a 5 and 6. So it would be 5 5/6 times, like, to the 4th power, right? That's really hard to calculate right off the dome. 25, 125, 625. So 625 over 636, 196. And then 1 minus that. Okay, our odds are pretty good with a 4, right? Pretty good. Well, I think that's game over. Our odds are pretty good, but roll 3 different values. Okay, I'm spinning all my dice. And we're hoping we hit this because we need a good shot. Nice, okay. We hit that, which means we get our 10 bucks and we need to buy more dice. Need to buy more dice. 8 D12s, and I can buy these for 2. 8 D12s for 10 bucks is a good deal, even though it's not that great. But I'm still pretty far from the goal. I'm at 6-7 right now. Right now I'm at 6-7 is the number here that I'm trying to count down. So keeping that 6-7 in mind, I should probably buy some more D6s since they're pretty good. Do I need any of these? Remove the lowest die. Remove 2 from the highest die. Okay. I think this is a stock up on dice turn. Maybe I shouldn't have spent that much money on dice, but we'll find out. At least 1 die shows 1. 1 die showing 1. Send 1 of these and send a couple of these. This is not as good as the first time we did it, but but we hit anyway. Okay. So this is a 22, right? 16 plus... Oh, it's better to do 12 plus 10, yes. So this is a 22. And a 22, 67 minus 22 is going to give us 45. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're at 45. Score more than 30. More than 30. Cut low. Cut the lowest. So if we roll 4 of these... If we roll 5 of these, it's not that likely that we instantly lose. And we really need that money. Alright, I'm going to send it. Hope for the best. So what did we get? We got 15 plus 15, so we got 30. We rolled exactly a 30. Did we really roll exactly 30? There's no way, right? That's 15. And that's 15. Wow. Okay, okay. And that's not more than 30, so we don't get the money from it. That's rough. That is brutal. Less than 8. Well, less than 8 is really easy to do. At least we get the money from this one. Okay. Now, we just need to get 10. We need 10. Add 2 to the highest die. The highest die adds instead of subtracting, or take back every dice. Oof. Okay. Okay. I need 10. I have the ability to cut the lowest die. I have the ability to add 2 to the highest die. I think what I need to do is start rolling D6s. I think D6s are the sauce here. So I need to buy some D6s first off. And then we want to be able to add 2. We want to be able to manipulate, right? So we buy a couple of these. We get add 2, take back, and we spend the rest on D6s. Okay. Now, let's roll 2 D6s here. See what we get? A 7. Okay, 7 is... Oh, 7 is a little awkward, right? 7 is a little awkward. Yeah, let's just take these back. We should roll 1 at a time. Roll 1 at a time. That puts us at a 7. Okay, 7 is good. 7 is really good. Because now we roll 2 D6s. The most common result here is 7. Okay, we need to remove the lowest or we lose. So now... Okay, now we're in a rough spot. All right, luck be a lady. 1 or 2. Ah, okay. Well, it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I think the turn I rolled 2, if I had kept rolling 1 at a time, I would have been in a better spot. because I might be able to get to the next shop, but I don't know if the next shop actually helps me that much, but that's fine. The divine being that destroys the world is subtraction. Okay. All dice show the same value. So do we get that for just a single die? Because all dice are going to show the same value, right? All of them are going to show a 6. So we should get $25 here. Okay, ref. I would like a ref to review that play. All of my dice showed the same value. I don't know if you noticed, but in fact, every one of my dice had the same value. So, okay. Roll 3 different values. We have a shop in 1 turn, so I really need to hit this. 3 dice is extremely likely to have 3 different values with D10s. But I'm just gonna send it on, you know what? I really need the money. I'm gonna send it on 5. This should be almost guaranteed. Not guaranteed, but very likely. Yeah, okay. And then I'm not doing the math here. Don't feel like. Wait, all ones? Does this change all my dice? Every die becomes a 1. Okay, that's a guaranteed win. If we have enough dice at the end game. If we have enough dice in the end game, that's a guaranteed win. So at this point, we just need to make it to the end game. Did I not get my money for that? Did I read it wrong? Okay, the fact that this game not having a full screen option is really unfortunate because it was covering up part of the screen. But okay, roll 3 dice with different values. Didn't I do that? Okay. Well, I have to spend my 10 coins on these D12s. But like, did I not get the money from the bet? I don't understand. Roll 4 dice with different values. Well, 4 dice with different values. If I put 5 D12s in here, it's not possible for me to lose. Perfect. Right, so this is 20, 31, 32, 38. So we're totally fine. And we rolled 4 dice with different values. 1, 6, 9, and 11. Okay, so we should get 20 bucks here. Oh, right. It didn't say roll at least 3 dice with different values. Oh, yuck. Yuck. Okay, score an even total. I only have 2 turns, and... Wait, I didn't... Wait, that one was roll 4 dice with different values. Didn't I do that? I don't understand these bets. I don't understand. I did. I had 4 different values. Is it... Because 2 of them had the same value, there were 2 11s, so that one counts as not having a unique value. Okay, well, I have no money, so I'm just gonna roll a d12. Nice, okay. It's not an even total, but what are you gonna do? You rolled 5 dice, 4 of which have different values? Yeah, so I rolled 4 different values. Roll 4 dice with different values is a thing I did. At least 1 dice shows 1. Okay. Yeah, I got no money now, so I think the game is over. Okay, this 11 is really good. Also, I think I have a fair case on all of the other bounties that didn't get paid out. But to make another case, at least 1 dice shows 1. My D12 showed a 1. It actually showed 2 ones. There was a 1 showing on my dice face. I'm just saying. Ref. I'm just saying. Okay. I have no money, so let's get back to the game. So actually, D10 is pretty good here. Score more than 12. Yeah, that didn't happen. All right. We're just sending it. Hope for the best. I rolled 11, then 1, then 1. All right. But dude, imagine this is a 7, huh? Imagine this is a 7. Oh! Brutal. Okay. I think if it doesn't say at least or at most, it's exactly. I would agree with you based on the 3, but then the 4 doesn't make any sense to me. Roll 4 different numbers. I did that. I had exactly 4 different numbers. Score more than 12. Okay, so I want the $5, so I'll send 3 dice at this. If I don't get above a 12 on this, it's an instant restart. All right. It's an instant restart. Roll at least 3 dice. Well, that's easy. Okay. Perfect. So I get the $5, actually. A bet that finally pays out. Okay. Highest die, adds instead of subtracting. Okay, I'm almost out of dice, so I just need to buy dice. D12s are not ideal, but it's not that bad. And then remove 2 from the highest die, add 2 to the highest die. Adding 2 is a little bit something. I think just having dice options here is pretty good. So let's spend my money on some dice. Score more than 12. More than 12. Get $5 for scoring more than 12. Spend 3 dice on it. This is... Okay, yeah. More than 12. Perfect. Next turn. It didn't say 4 numbers. It said 4 dice with different numbers. I did have 4 dice with different numbers. Score more than 30. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like, I think you're right. The game is interpreting it the way you're interpreting it. But I think that's bad design. I think you should be player favored. And the fact that I'm frustrated that it didn't pay out the bet is not good for the game. Score more than 30. Okay, more than 30. I have add 2 to the highest die, but that's not super valuable. More than 30. More than 30. I get a shop in 2 turns. So I really want to get this. I really want this. Do I just ship all 5 of my D12s here? Okay. If more than 30 on 5d12. So 5d12, the max I can get is 60. The odds that another d10 busts me here are very low, so I'm just going to add it in there. And if it busts me, whatever. We take the bad luck. Okay. So that's 10. Did I even get more than 30? Hold on. That's 9 plus 11. That's 20. So this is 32. So that's more than 30. So I think I paid out. Nice, nice. Got $20. Okay. Say that to Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The effects are very specific. Every word matters. I also hate Yu-Gi-Oh's design. So I love Yu-Gi-Oh the game. I think the design, the fact that if it says the word target is how it targets, the fact that Mystical Space Typhoon doesn't negate, stop playing. Okay. Okay, next shop in 1 turn, roll 3 dice with different values. Oh, I thought, did I? Oh, okay, I'm just going to roll 1. I have plenty of money. I just need to make it to the next shop. Yu-Gi-Oh card must have rotten my rules lawyer brain. Okay, so we're at 23. And we have a lot of money. We have a lot of money here. I think the D8 would be good. Changing the wording to be more explicit or changing the way the game interprets it would be ideal. Yeah, I think if it said roll exactly 4 dice and they all have different values, that would be very clear. And I think that would make the bet clear that it's like, you need to reroll this one because that's like incredibly unlikely. I mean, if you have like D12s or D20s, maybe you could do it. But even then, the odds that 1 overlaps is like really, really unfortunate. Okay. I need to get 23. Every die becomes 1. I have to buy this. And then the D8s are really good. And then I can remove 2 from the highest die, or I can buy some more actual dice. So given the fact that I have all 1s, means buying dice seems very powerful here. These are D10s and these are D12s. So I want the 10s. So let's buy 3 10s. Perhaps I actually should have bought the D8s actually, but it's fine. So 23. At this point, I no longer care about making money. I just care about winning. So I roll my 2 D10s and see what it gives me. So this is an 11. So this puts me at 12. That's very good. In fact, no. Okay, 12 is really good here. Next turn. Then I roll a single D10 and see what that gives me. And I think this is a guaranteed win, right? Yeah, because now I need 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm rolling 8 D8, and then I turn them all to 1s. Nice. Guaranteed win. Let's go. Excellent. Let's go. Okay. All right. We won the medium cooldown, medium countdown. The long countdown seems tough because that one I'm going to need to manage having dice. Okay. Reach exactly 0. Let's got this. Let's go. All right. We found the guaranteed win with our all-one strategy of buying dice. But now we need to survive. So we actually have to make money. So we need to roll 3 dice with different values. So this is the problematic one where this means roll exactly 3 dice. So I just have to, this is all luck. This is, I hope I hit it. And since I started with, okay, yep, I just didn't hit it. Okay, take back every dice. All dice show the same value. So this is the one, this is another one where all dice show the same value and you must roll more than 1. So I'm going to roll 2 and hope it hits. It did not hit. So I think it's basically already game over. I expected to let's think critically about this game. Well, I want to beat it on all 3 of the difficulty levels before I think critically about it. I'm almost out of dice, so I just need to buy the dice. I have no other choice. I need the value pack. Score less than 8. At least this is a guarantee. This is $10. Free $10, baby. We take those. Score more than 30 for 20 bucks. For 20 bucks. For 20 bucks. Is it worth 20 bucks? Is it worth 20 bucks? Because I can't guarantee it. I can't guarantee it. I guess I could load up the dice on this one. If I load up the dice on this one and don't hit, I can just click Nevermind and take my dice back. Is this worth using a Nevermind on? Or do I just roll like 1d8 and skip it? Because even if I put in 6d8 is not that likely to get more than 30. I think it's probably not worth it. And even though it's not worth it, I'm doing it anyway. Let's go, brother. Woo! Oh, it's always worth it when you hit. Okay. So 15, 25. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What a roll. Did the math for the 4 dice with different values. All D20s is 73% chance. D12s is 57%. D8s is 41% chance. Interesting. Okay, that was really good. At least 1 die shows a 1. I just want to get to the shop. So let's spend a D6 on it. Most likely to hit a 1. Well, okay. We're in the shop with 30 bucks. All right, we definitely want the D10s. Every die becomes a 1. Oof, okay. Oof, is it worth $10? So all 1s is like a late game insurance. It's late game insurance. And at this point, we're just trying to stay alive. So I think we take all 1s and then we spend the rest on dice. D6s are very good. Buy a couple D6s, buy a couple of these. Okay. So we have 16 dice and we have an all 1s ready to go. So we just need to keep making it to the next shop. 4 dice with different values. So we roll 4 D10s and hope it hits. I think, do I take back 4 D10s here? Yeah. 4 dice. 4 dice. It's 4 dice. Yeah, just take them back. At least 1 dice shows a 1, so we just roll a single D6. Easy. Nope. Okay, next turn. Score more than 12. Okay, more than 12 is not that difficult to land. 4 D10s for more than 12, we get $5. We're spending $8 worth of dice. $8 worth of dice to get $5. Okay, I think this is worth it as long as we hit. And we hit. Okay. So we got 15 plus 5, so we got 20. So we get $5. Not bad. Not bad on $5. Roll a D231 and get 231 to win instantly. True. Okay, 4 dice with different values. Oof, 4 dice with different values. If I miss this, if I roll my 4 D10s and miss this, it's like really bad. It's really bad. But with D10s, what were the odds? All D12s is 57%. D8s is 41%. So D10s is like a 50-50 basically. Do we take a 50-50 shot to just straight up like lose right here? I think we need to. I think we need to. Because the shops are getting further apart, right? We need the money. We need the money, yeah. Come on. 6, 4, 8. Ah, brutal. Okay. Okay, we're in a rough spot now. Rough spot now. Take back every dice. Taking back every die is pretty good. We have 7 dice left. We can do an aggressive play and then bring the dice back if we don't hit. Or we can buy 2 more dice. Okay, I think actually 5 dice is better here. Nevermind is pretty good. Okay, roll at least 3 dice. Oof. Roll 3 dice. 4 turns. Okay, if we roll 3 dice here, we have 4 dice left. And we need to make it through 4 turns. And we definitely can. But we'll only get $5, which doesn't really get us enough money. So I think we can't afford to go for this bet, actually. I think this bet will lose us the game. Because we won't have enough money. Okay. Score more than 12. Oof. Okay, we just have to high roll this with 2 d8s. We need more than 12 here. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Okay, we're basically out of money here. All dice show the same value. Ref? Ref? Okay, 2 d6s. We need this to hit. Alright, that's fine. Score more than 30. Not possible. So we throw a single one in here and get no money. And that's game over. That's game over. All right. I could have used all ones to get double on that one to get enough money. So I had a play to stay alive, but it's fine. Let's just end it here and go again. I think using the all ones there just to stay alive. Game over. The hand. It was the better play, but I missed too many of the one bet. That's all dice show the same value. Ref. Trim. Remove 2 from the highest die. Okay. So there's 2 ways to get this. Not even close. Not even close. Okay. More than 30 for $20. Send it, brother. Okay. Nice. 10, 10, 10. All right, we did it. $30. All right. Okay, now I need this pack for sure. Do we go for an all ones early? I think staying alive is a little bit hard. All ones is very expensive. You know what? We're doing it. It's great insurance. And then we stock up the rest on these. Boom. Okay. Less than 8. Well, that's probably easy. Nice. Okay. $10. Easy $10. Roll 3 dice with different values. Okay. 3d10s into that. Literally just hope for the best. 2, 3, and 5. Let's go. $10. Yeah, roll 3 dice with different values. I think the reason I dislike that, to talk about design for a second, I think the reason that I dislike the fact that it's roll exactly 3 is it changes it from an interesting decision into pure randomness, right? It's like the decision making goes from how many dice are you willing to put into getting 3 different ones, from roll 3 and hope you hit it, right? And then the decision becomes, do you think you have 3 dice to spare for this random chance, which is an interesting decision. But you can already do that, and then you add an extra decision-making layer on top of like, are you willing to add an extra die or 2 to increase your odds of hitting 3 different numbers? And not being able to do that, I feel like, lessens the strategic elements of this gambling-based game. And I think for a gambling-based game, the more interesting strategic elements you add to it, the better. Okay, score less than 8. This is another one where we just roll a single d10. Less than 8. Okay. The bet, this score less than 8 is like so free. It's so good. Oh, we have another all ones. Okay, I didn't need to spend it on that. But we have D12s, we have D8s, and we have D10s. We have add 1 to every dice. Add 1 to every die. Every die becomes 1. We already have an all ones. We have remove 2. Gain back every dice used. Refund is very powerful. And then we put the rest into these. Okay, we're doing really well this run. Okay. Score more than 30. Well, do I have news for you? Okay, what is the max if I roll everything? 8 times 12 is 80 plus 16, so 96. Plus 50 is 146. Plus 8 times 8 is 48. So it's not even 200. So, nice. 48, 50... Not even quite 100. This is going to be a pretty good roll, I think. I think we probably hit it, and we want to refund, and on to the next turn. Well, that was a good turn, I'd say. Yeah, the refund is extremely valuable, especially because it lets you do turns like this one. All right. That was a good turn. That was a good turn. Okay, score an even total. An even total. I think we just toss a single D12 into this. There is a slight... No, there isn't any benefit other than just throwing a single D12 into it. Okay. That's fine. 4 dice with different values. So we want 4 D12s in this. 4 D12s and just hope for the best. Rough. Okay, that's fine. So we're going into the shop. Oh, we actually still have another turn before the shop. All dice show the same value. Ref. Okay, 2 D8s. Okay. So we have 20 coins in the shop. Oh, I can't buy any more packs. Interesting. Remove the highest die. Remove 2 from the highest die. Add 2 to the highest die. So we have enough. Add 2, take back. Okay, I think we want to buy more dice for sure. So let's buy 1 of you and buy 3 of you. Do we want to never mind in case something goes wrong? We're in a good spot to win. We're in a good spot because we have all ones, which is the calculator, right? I think at this point, the safest play is just to go for dice. Actually, I want the nevermind in case something comes up. Something could come up that I need to deal with. And then we buy 1 more of each die. All right. Roll at least 3 dice. Easy. Let's roll a D10. Let's roll 1 of each. Those are the ones we just bought, and we'll keep 6 of each. That's pretty good. Okay. And that's going to be an 11. We're on good pace. Good pace. We have 18 dice left. 18 dice left. All dice show the same value. That's a 2 D12s. That's 2 D12s. We want to keep the low ones because the low ones are the ones we're more likely to want to convert. This is a 19. That's fantastic for us. The low ones are the ones that we're going to want to convert into ones for the all-one roll that finishes it off. Score less than 8. Well, a single D8 gets us $10 here, so that's pretty good. So we just take that. Yeah. Okay. Score more than 12. We don't need to. We have $16 going into the shop, and we are almost at a guaranteed win because we have a 15. We have a guaranteed 15 right now, so we only need 1 more good roll. So let's just play it perfectly safe. Perfect. 9. Refund is very valuable. But rather than refunding, because it looks like we only have 3 cards anyway. Perfect. Back to game. And then we need 9. All ones. So we roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 D8s. We roll those. We turn them all to 1s and we win.
Excellent.
Let's go. Nice. All right, and we've beaten every difficulty. So, let's think critically about this game and see if we can give some useful feedback. First off, I think just saying hi through the elite chat. Hey, Sekmet, good to see you. Oh, and you have access to the follower emotes. That's cool. Did this game win the jam? Actually, that's an interesting question. I'm curious. How did it perform? 224, 433, 476, 841. Narrative 377. Yeah, narrative as a category I find a little bit silly because not every Game Jam game is going to have a story, right? But I feel like narrative is already covered by enjoyment because if you enjoy the story, it had good narrative, right? But anyway, that's a nitpick on a jam, not the game. Okay, let's think critically about this game, see if we can give some feedback. So first off, I think the first thing I want to say is that this game is really well done. Really well done. Very, very fun premise, very unique premise, well executed. The art fits it super well, and the strategy behind it is extremely interesting. I think you absolutely cooked on this game. Really well done. This is super fun. I feel like this is like a Steam ready game. If this was on Steam for like $2 or $3, I can imagine streamers playing it, like pogging off with their rolls. It has like the gambling element, so people can play it up for content. People can clip farm, where it's like, when the number is a 1 and they only have like a D20 left, and they're like, well, looks like I need to get a crit 1 here to succeed. And they hit the 1 and they pop off and they put it on, TikTok, and it gets a couple, 100,000 views because they're a popular streamer. I feel like this is built for clip farming and for stream content, which is really good way for it to get picked up by people who want to play it. Especially imagining watching Northern Lion play this game and seeing him like miscalculate which like dice to roll or something, and being like, wow, because he was busy like, orbital striking someone in chat, so he did the math wrong or did an improper play. And when you're watching, you're like, that wasn't the proper calculation. I would play this game much better than him. And then you buy it, right? I feel like that's like the classic thing roguelikes do. I think this is built super well for that. And it's like totally Steam ready. The art works great. The music works great. Like this is really well put together. And yeah, so I think that's great. But the one big criticism I would have is that the bets right now are a little bit like imbalanced, I think. First, some of the bets are so easy to do, right? Like roll less than 8 when you have a D6 is like a guarantee. And so guaranteed money is very powerful. And then some of them feel extremely difficult to get, right? Some of them are like, when you roll more than 30, like if I got roll more than 30 with this right now, I just need to pass it by. And refreshing the bet costs $2. One thing I would try prototyping, making refreshing the bet free the first time per round. Is it adding another layer of gambling to the game? It sure is. But isn't that fun? I think that gives even more moments, gives even more interesting decision making. If the first refresh bet on each turn was $0, then I can be like, roll 3 dice with different values. I hate this one. I'm going to re-roll it. And then I get one that's like impossible to land. Like I know it costs 2 right now, but imagine I'm like, you know what? 3 with D6, that's like pretty unlikely for D6s. So I'm going to refresh it. More than 12. Oof. Okay. More than 12. I guess I can put 4 into this. Like I just got to make an interesting decision. He loves gambling. Gambling makes roguelikes fun. It's one of the fun elements. And so I think that's another thing you could try prototyping. It might make the game way better, but there's a chance that making the first reroll cost 0 makes the game way easier as well. So that's something to think about. Additionally, the win condition of getting an exact number on a roll is very cool. It's very satisfying to imagine, but also you have some of the cards, like the all ones card, it feels like it was purposefully designed to give people a way to win, right? Like the all ones was put in there so that people can do exactly the strategy I used. And I think that maybe that's a little too centralizing to the meta of how you're going to accomplish the goal here. I feel like the all-one strat is really good. It requires a lot of dice, though. So you actually have to do quite a bit of money management and buying a lot of dice to hit an all-ones at the end. But, like, that's not too tough to do, especially with how powerful the refund card is. So I wonder if there are ways. Right now, every single round is just a bet for money and then you go to the shop. I wonder if you could also potentially do some rounds where you get a random card, right? If you got a random card every... like if it's like the next shop in 2 turns and then the next one's like the next shop in 4 turns. If instead of 4 turns, it was like the next event in 2 turns, and then the event gives you a random card or gives you some random dice or something. That could be fun to play with too and see if that's also something satisfying. But that might overcomplicate the design, right? That's a suggestion that might make it more interesting, might give the player more options, but might complicate the design. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. I think making the bet cost 0 could be fun. But then the other thing is making sure the bets are player favored so that the only way to interpret it, the only ways you can interpret the bet are in ways that actually get met, right? I think like the one that really gets me is the one like all dice show the same face. The fact that doesn't work with a single dice was very frustrating. So you should put in there like at least 2 dice or something. Yeah, it's tough. I see why the wording on that sucks, because the first thing I thought of was saying like at least 2 dice show the same face, but then if you roll more dice, as long as 2 of them show. But maybe that's the kind of thing that you should go for. I think making the bets up there require you to calculate the trade-offs between how many dice you're willing to spend versus the effective value of the money you're getting from it, right? It's like, right now, this one score more than 12 is worth $5. 1 dice is $2. One die is $2, right? Unless I buy the like value pack, right? So if I'm considering that a die is worth about $2, if I put 3 dice into this, then I'm effectively going -1. If I put 4 dice into it, I'm going -3, right? So it's really not that worth it from a value perspective to try to hit this. And I think making it like these kind of calculations that I need to go for roll at least 2 dice and all show the same face. Yeah, that would be like the way to work. Or all dice show the same face and roll at least 2, something like that. Would make it clear exactly what the win condition is. And that way there's no way to misinterpret it. So I would work on the wording of these bets to make them very clear so that people can't misinterpret them. Gamblers of win, 99% big, quit they before. True, actually. I actually want to play this game now. Yeah, I think that this game is really well made. I think this is a really good game. I think you absolutely cooked. I want to make that abundantly clear. Everything works together super well to deliver exactly the experience you were going for, and it's very fun. And like I said, it has a little bit of streamer bait to it, but like it's not purely made as a streamer bait game. It's just a good game that also is streamer bait, which is fantastic. That's one of the things you're looking for roguelike. What's something streamers can play, have plenty of stuff to talk about, and can make for awesome moments. Like I enjoyed the turn where I was like, I don't think this is a good calculation. I'm sending it anyway, and I rolled it. That was fun to do, right? And I can imagine people who their stream is more about their big reactions and their gamer moments, like playing that up, right? I can imagine, like a Northern Lion type streamer where someone in chat is like type A chatting. They're like, actually, it was mathematically more correct if you did this. And he's like, it's all the same, Gambling is 100% the same. Whether I win this round or win the next round or never win at all, what difference does it make to you, right? We're all sitting on this big blue marble until one day we die, right? Something to that effect. And then, the clip on that gets a bunch of views on YouTube. That's exactly the kind of streamer bait you're going for, right? 50-50 chance it either happens or it doesn't. But I think from a design perspective, you've put together something really, really good. I think the only thing that I would quantify is the bet. I would make that a little bit more player favored and make sure the wording can't be misinterpreted, and maybe rebalance the bets a little bit, because like score less than 8 is like such a free one, right? And I think having free ones like that can be fun, but they need to be like balanced a little bit more, right? There's actually 33% chance. Either it happens, it doesn't, or it. True. I want to see someone being at 60, roll 3d20s and crit all of them for an instant win and getting an achievement for it. Yeah, a triple crit achievement would be cool. Also, there's like a countdown and you have a number of turns. I wonder if there should be a max turn limit, so you need to hit the goal in a certain amount of time, because there is the interesting dynamic in this game that spending a single die is like skipping a turn. It's like, I don't like this bet and I want to get closer to the shop, I'm just going to spend 1 die to skip the turn. And I mean, I guess it is fair to spend a die to skip a turn, which you can only do when the number is like above a certain amount. But that's like an interesting element of the design of this game that like you could play with, but I don't know if it's necessary. It could also be like the harder difficulties have a max turn limit or something. Yeah. I think you could prototype a few different versions of this, and then also, I really like systems. So my instinct is to think of other systems that could also make the game more interesting. But I think you already have such an interesting and really well done design here that any system you put on top of it would have to be really valuable to be worth adding. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if you if you rebalanced the bets a little bit, prototype like the $0 1 bet per turn, and make sure they can't be misinterpreted, as well as potentially adding some more difficulty options, so it's not just the 3 and then it's over. I feel like this is like ready for Steam. So really good job. Okay. Fantastic work on this game. Go back to my talking head view. But yeah, the system I was thinking about, because, it's really easy to come up with systems, is some kind of similar to how in Balatro you have like the bosses, the bosses that like change how things work. You could have something like that where it's like a thing shows up and it's like, you have to roll more than, like your value has to be more than 5 every turn or you lose, right? And so now you need to also like take that into consideration, and it could warn you about it ahead of time, right? You could have different phases, right? But that's all stuff that could expand the game into a bigger game, which there's so much room to make it a bigger game, right? Yo, Monarch, what'd you miss? You just missed a fantastic roguelike, a really, really good one. All right. With that in mind, next up, gambling. True, gambling. Next up, we have Final Light by Tic Tac Joel. Turn the music back on. Okay, so the other game was like aesthetically really, really good. I don't know how they managed all of that awesome rotoscoping art and stuff in such a short jam. So really great job to them. But I want to give credit to this screen because it's very simple, right? There's like a simple light in the bottom to add this gradient effect, a very simple particle effect coming up, like Godot's built-in panels for the buttons, but with a with the lighting effect on the cursor. It makes for a very nice main menu that was probably very fast to put together. So I think this is a really good example of how you can make a polished feeling menu and very polished feeling stuff in a jam with very small little quick additions, right? Like I imagine this, for me, I could probably put together this title screen in 5 to 10 minutes, if that. Like it's very fast, but it works super well. And once you get that fast, you can put a little bit of extra sauce on it, right? But this works tremendously. Huge credit to being able to make a nice polished made menu like this so quickly in a jam. It's a very, very valuable skill. Okay. Press A and D to move. The timer represents the light you have left in you. Run out and the light will perish. Got it. Press space to jump. 100%. Press W and S to change the light level. Oh, I can like brighten it or lower it. Okay, and if the light is bright, it goes down faster, and dim, it goes down slower. Okay. The brighter you shine, the faster your light extinguishes. Got it. Got it, brother. Level complete. Not bad. Braziers will restore your light. Braziers. Use bright light to get rid of vines. Ah, okay, okay. Use bright lights to activate invisible platforms. Oh, where these particles are? Yeah, got it. Use bright lights to activate checkpoints. Nice. Use dim light to avoid attracting enemies. Enemies will siphon your light if they catch you. Oh, I love the fact that the enemies are just light, like just the eyes in the darkness. That's a really cool touch. That's fun. Nice work on that. Okay. Okay, there's an enemy up there, but I need to shine brightly to get rid of the vines. Okay, don't attract him. Don't attract him. Okay, checkpoint. Nice. All right. Just got a little bit of light left. Oh, I forgot to shine dimly. Okay. Got a dim light under this enemy so he doesn't see me. Okay, wait for him to pass. And I need to like jump up here probably. Is there an invisible platform? Okay, wait for a chance to get this platform. Nice, okay. I'm dim. Can he see me? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need to get both of the platforms active fairly quickly. While he's far away from me. Wait for him to turn around, maybe? Wait for him to turn around, I think. Yeah, the enemies are moths. That's cool. Ah! Ha! Haha! Not today, Joker. Okay, nice. Oh, interesting. I can't. Oh, dang it. Interesting. So this game has a strange issue of it's built around the lighting, which means there is an element of blind jumps that's like fundamental to the design. Give me my platforms. Nice. Okay. We got through the first one. Okay. And then also, yeah, the vines start moving, but you can't go under them until they like finish their whole animation. So I would probably sync up the animation with the rigid body moving out of the way or the static body moving out of the way, but again, minor. I'm gonna run out of light. Unless... Oh, nice. I dimmed my light in time to be able to make it to the next level. All right, cool. Next level. I think the checkpoint brings you back with the amount of light you had when you got there. Ah, yes, the humble spring. Okay. What was once an ally in your journey has become your greatest enemy. All right, get this checkpoint. Perfect. Okay. Oop, I fall down. Interesting. Okay. But if I wait for him to pass, aren't I going to lose my platform? Yeah. So is it like a timing thing? I need to wait for him to be far enough away before I start glowing the platforms? Maybe? whatever. Hey, yeah, you thought. Okay. Okay, just jump across. My light's dim. How come you can see me, brother? This was not the rules we agreed to, my mans. Okay. All right. Jump over the spikes. Jump over here. Get my checkpoint. Easy money. Is this a friendly spring? Nope. That is not a friendly spring. Okay. All right. The blind spikes get me yet again. And this one I think is just directly to the right. Yep. Inch along. Jump over the spikes. All right. Next level. Okay. Spiked myself. Oops. Let me through. Yeah, you got me. You got me. Little invisible spikes. Don't mind. I feel like... Oh, okay, yeah, I don't have enough light to just sprint it. Leave me alone, Mr. Moth. Oh, I guess I should get this checkpoint. So this is a problem that might be worth figuring out how to solve. Because the moth, like, drains my light, which is my HP, but the checkpoint restores my light, which is my HP. So I kind of just have a permanent little buddy now. I'm going to go in the pit and get rid of him. Okay. Oh my gosh. Nice. Come on. Quickly. Quickly. I'm running low on light. Ah, okay. That one's a little bit frustrating. Oh, yeah. I don't have enough time. Okay. I need to raise this up from close by. Can I get both of the platforms from right here? Because I'm just not barely in, I'm barely not in range. Ah! Okay. Yeah, there's no way to shake the moth once he's on you, huh? Once he's on you, you're just cooked. Fair enough. Similar to, like, if for whatever reason they just, like, killed you on hit. Okay, I have the light. Yeah, okay. Nice. Jump over the spike. All right. Oops. Missed the jump. Don't mind me. Okay, this might be the amount of light that I need. We wait for the moth to go to the other side. Yep, yep, yep. Did that. Nope. Aha! Thank you for playing. Thank you for making the game. All right. Let's think critically about this game, see if we can provide some feedback. So, leaderboard coming soon. Sounds good. Heartbeat sound. Okay. So, I think that the idea here is really good. I like the idea of, like, the light being, I activate my bright light to solve puzzles and get through the area and come up with stuff. And I think that works really well. So that's all really good. Yeah, but Monarch, you said what I was about to say. But I think right now the game is suffering from blind jumps and blind obstacles, right? I can't see what's in the way because it's pitch black, right? And in general, it's good design advice for platformers to avoid blind jumps. Because blind jumps are usually not that satisfying. So the solution is, instead of making it pitch black, you have silhouettes. Like, you can very faintly see the outline of where you can walk, and you can see the outline of obstacles, right? Like, imagine where there are spikes. Let me find some spikes. Get out of here, Mr. Mothman. Yeah, see, that right there is a great example where I was just walking forward and I fell into a pit because I couldn't see that there was a pit. So, Let me get past the Mothman. Okay. You can shake them. You just have to get far enough away. You'll never catch me. I'm too fast. Yeah, imagine... I gotta find it. Yeah, right here. From right here, I literally can't tell the ground's about to end, and I'm right next to it. So if there was like a little bit of a silhouette along the ground here where you can see my mouse, so that I could see that there was a pit, and then you can see the spikes are down there. If I get down, yeah, you can see these spikes. So when the light's up, let me get rid of that guy. So when the light's up, that's totally chill. And you can see it very clearly. But when the light's down, you don't know there are spikes there. Imagine there's just like a little bit of a glow on these spikes. Like you can see when I hover my mouse, there's like a little red glow. If that red glow was always there, then I can always see the spikes, and I can see like a little bit of a nice outline and silhouette of the platforms. And then when you turn on the light, you get to have the full view of it. And then if you have some like nice background elements, then those will like shine up too. So that'll like both enhance the visuals and increase the gameplay clarity. And so it's like a win-win with that situation. Additionally, right now, I hit this wall and I have no idea what to do, right? Because I can't see the little particles for the invisible platforms. I can't see the silhouette of the wall. So I have to turn on my light to see, which is fine to some degree, but it would be nice. It would be nice if there was a way. Okay, I need to get my light back. It would be nice if there was a way to see that there are these invisible platforms here before I've even started moving, you know? Like, see, now I want to sit it slowly. Additionally, like I said, it's a minor nitpick, but making sure the hitbox is lined up with the actual visual is pretty important. See, that because I was trying to conserve my light, I had my light down dim. And then I couldn't see, so I just did a blind jump because I assumed that was where I needed to go, but it wasn't. I'm guessing they intended the game to be played mostly in medium light, changing to other modes as needed, but that's not necessarily how people will play it. Yeah, I think people will want to keep themselves dim lit to keep their light as long as possible. I think most people don't want to play at standard light, especially because if an enemy shows up, you don't want to get seen, right? And I think there are ways to encourage that play style, like encourage the player to have the light on medium level. But I think it's not good to encourage the player to do that because they literally can't see obstacles without the light at medium level. I think that's probably not the way to do it. Additionally, the invisible platform is a little bit too hard to see when it's dark. It takes like a little bit too much effort. Also, probably checkpoints should restore light as well, so that the checkpoints always bring you back to the level that it's supposed to be. Like if you calculate from this checkpoint, like the amount of light you need to finish from the checkpoint is like 40, then this should just set you to 40 whenever you touch it. That way you can very finely control the elements of the level rather than hoping they get here with the right amount of light. Yeah. Also, someone in chat suggested, and I do think it's an interesting idea, if your little guy can throw a fireball, and it costs some light to throw, but the moth will follow the fireball because it has like a big light on it. I think that would be a really cool way to add more puzzle-like elements to the game that aren't about waiting, right? Because generally you don't want the puzzle or action or gameplay to revolve too much around just waiting for a moment to do what you want to do. And so I think by having the light be more of a thing you can control, especially by throwing fireballs or like lighting torches or leaving things behind, you unlock a lot more puzzle elements. I think that's a suggestion for like extended development because I know this is a jam, so you don't really have enough time to do everything. But I think that that is a gameplay element that would help a lot for making the puzzles more satisfying, right? It's like if instead of just waiting for him to come by, I come over here, and then he's coming this way, so I throw a fireball. I can wait a little bit, throw a fireball to drag him this way, and then I rush over here and light up these platforms while he's distracted, and then I dim my light and run this way, and I have just enough time to do it, maybe even a little bit more than just enough, but I have time to do it while he's distracted by the fireball. I think that would be a very satisfying puzzle. Right. And see here, my light was getting pretty low, and I needed to light up those platforms. So because my light was getting low, I wanted to go right back to dim lighting. So if there was a spike in the way, I wouldn't have been able to see it, and that's a very frustrating situation. Yeah, it's like right here, I can see the spikes because you make me... That's another good way to do design. Like this is good design here, where I need to lift the vine, so I light up all the way, so you show me the spikes. That's good because now I see the spikes. But that's a little bit rougher because I turn my light back down to come across. Even if I'm medium light, I see the mushroom. I can't see the spikes it's going to knock me into. Now, because I get these instant restarts, it's not as bad as it otherwise would be. But it's one of those things where it's like if I'm running with dim light and I see this and I see this, I need to like jump and look for it. And I think your design intent here was to use the light for scouting, right? Like you light up big time to see the room around you. But I just think I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I think the game would work a little bit better if you just gave that information to the player where there are spikes for free, rather than make them need to scout for it, and then give them other reasons, like use other designs and other obstacles to get them to play with the light system. Maybe dim light should slow your movement as a sneaking option. That's a good suggestion. If dimming the light causes your character to move slower, people wouldn't want to use it for general platformers, and then you can assume that when they're not sneaking by enemies, they're going to be in medium light. And also, I think the sneak is an interesting option because right now I need to platform past these guys, and I have to use my big light to like turn on the platforms anyway. So for the most part, like this puzzle right here just feels like I can brute force it, right? If I just turn on my bright light and run across, I basically have enough light to get hit with the moth if I just jump through him and then run to the exit, right? But if I'm not brute forcing this, I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to do it because I need the bright light to turn on the platforms. I think there might be something to be said for the idea of the bright light turns on the platform and it stays on. That way you're mostly sneaking around and using bright light to turn on platforms while the moth is distracted, which gives you like something to plan around. Like first I need to come here, turn on this one, get over here, turn on that one. And then when you reset to a checkpoint or die, then it can turn the platforms back off. So you need to like get it in one like string of execution. But right now it feels like I just need to turn on my big light and jump across them, right? And that's not exactly, I think, the gameplay you were going for here. But if I turn on this light and then I dim, he's still chasing me and I didn't get the platform. I should have just stayed bright and then tried to like jump around him, right? It's like, this seems clearly to be the best strategy. And so that goes, it's a little bit antithetical to using the dim to sneak by him, right? Like the dominant strategy there is much different from what the gameplay is like suggesting I do. Like dodge him, get this one. Yep. It's like, you see what I mean? I think you see what I mean. Okay. Yeah, and I think one of the good ways, I think making this a vine, making it a plant reacting to the light was very cool, but it's a little bit weird that the plant retracts from the light rather than growing. That's something that I think you could potentially change, is like the platforms that appear, you could make those grow out of stuff. So you need to go shine your light on this plant to make it grow and turn into like a flower that you can jump on, right? And then once it's grown, it grew, right? So that it doesn't need to vanish again. And that way, like it fits in a little bit more thematically, and you can add other plants and other stuff that reacts to light. Like I think working with light as the fact that this is using light as its main mechanic means you can lean into those sort of design elements that are what people imagine dealing with light, so that it like is, you know, scratching their itch of like, what do I want this game to be like because of the lighting system? You know what I mean? Maybe the rate at which the platform disappears depends on the light level. High, it appears. Medium, it stays a fair amount. Low, it disappears quickly. No light's immediately gone. I think that's an interesting idea. You might want to use a different type of platform for that though, because I think that there are different ways that you can make that mechanic work, but it is a very limiting design. And I think there are some cool puzzles with that, but it doesn't blend nicely with the enemies either. But yeah, I think that the core ideas in this game work really well. And I think there are some clear ways you can expand it. And there are a lot of fun things you can do with light. And I think as far as game jams go, like, is this spikes? Yeah, even with the idea, I would have needed to jump with my bright light, which is not even what I want to do, given that there is literally a moth there. So I think there are some competing elements here with like the lights and the moths, and the way that you've set up the levels. The design doesn't feel as cohesive with the puzzle I'm trying to solve, where it's like the moth is going to come eat me if my light's bright, but I need my bright light to... Actually, that's something I should say, is a lot of puzzles, when you think through them, when you think through the steps, it like doesn't work. And you have to like go back and rethink what you're doing. And so the puzzle element of like, I need my bright light to turn on this platform, but if I shine my bright light, the moth will be attracted to it and I can't actually just create the platform. That's a good basis for a puzzle, because then you need to figure out like, what am I thinking wrong? Do I not need the platform? Do I need to activate the platform with something else other than the bright light? Is there a way to stop the moth from chasing me? Do I need to like have the moth chase me? Like I turn on my bright light to act as a beacon and then dim so that I can sneak back to the area before he notices me. Like that could be a cool idea. And so those are ways to get around the core obstacle you've created with the puzzle design. But right now it feels like those elements there that are the start of a good puzzle design don't really have a satisfying puzzle solution. It's actually just like kind of brute force it. Okay. I think the game might be awesome with like 3 times the starting fuel or something along those lines. It's like a band-aid fix, but it'd be fun to experiment with. Yeah, I would definitely prototype and play around with like the ranges of stuff and add more light-based mechanics, add more enemies that interact with light in different ways. Like the moths that chase you was really cool, and I love the detail of having their eyes in the darkness. I think that is really well done. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about when I say you should be able to see the silhouette and see the details of stuff in the darkness, because I think the fact that I see the eyes of these enemies glowing in the darkness is very cool. I think you could even add like a slight lighting effect around the eyes so it feels like there's like a red glow coming from the enemy's eyes. That would be very cool. Similarly, make the spikes visible, add a little bit of silhouetting on like nearby platforming at least. And I think that would sell this whole like in the dark vibe that you've got going on. But yeah, so prototype with it, play with some more elements, and I think you have something really cool on your hands. That's what I would do. Luring moth into a trap would be so cool. Yeah, I think the idea that like you bait a moth to follow you by using your bright light, and then you like grow a plant underneath it that like traps it somewhere, so then you could go turn it on. And it was never about being able to grow the platforms while the thing is chasing you. It's actually about growing the platforms. It's actually about growing the platforms once the moth has been dealt with. I think those are all cool ideas, but yeah, really cool game. Thanks for submitting. And hopefully that feedback was helpful. Okay. Next up. What time is it? 2:16? Okay. See if I can get this game launched. Gotta make sure I click the right full screen button. Okay. This game is called Goblin Death Cult. Countdown. Goblin Death Cult Countdown. Let's start. Okay. There's some dudes. Wait, is there sound? There's supposed to be sound? Hold on. Was there like a settings option or something? Yeah, someone on the team did sound design, but I'm not hearing any sound. Maybe my volume is too low. Okay. Took quite a bit to boost the volume up, but okay. All right, and there we go. Goblin Death Cult Countdown, now with sound. Clicking isn't doing anything. Okay, space is a dash. Shift. Do I need to like dash attack enemies? No, I don't need to dash attack enemies. Clicking doesn't do anything. Oh, arrow keys to shoot. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Clicking to fire, like right now I'm spamming the button. You can probably hear it. That fires way slower than just holding the button. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I got 3 options. Classic roguelike. 30 health, dubious energy tonic. Every 5 seconds, explode. Time takes down faster if you aren't actively moving. 30 health, Chronomancer's Blade. On enemy kill, freeze time for 0.5 seconds. Enemies are more dangerous. Or a Fistful of Google Eyes, all chest down, drop a second relic. Well, I don't know. I think I'll take this one. 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 This one. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. I'll re-roll this one. I'll take this one. I'll take nothing. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. Can I not buy these? Hold on. Let me... Is it, like, bugged or something? Oh! Whoa, hold on. Clicking full screen. Full screening it gets rid of the option to buy the cards? That's wild. Oh! I need to use this full screen button instead of the other full screen button. Interesting. Okay. Okay. 30 health, lightning charm, 10% crit chance, and on critical hit causes an explosion that deals all enemies in range for half damage, but your attacks move at half speed. The Chronomancer's Charm, on critical hit freeze time for 0.5 seconds, or most relic effects are doubled, but cooldowns on relics are doubled. Okay, most relic effects are doubled, but cooldown are doubled. So don't take this cooldown one, but take this one and this one, so I get double the effect. And I spent time on it? Okay. Okay, my shots fire way slower, but like I get like way more crit chance and explosions. Ow. Okay. Okay. Every 5 seconds, shoot a cross shape in the direction you're firing. Every 5 seconds, shoot bullets on each of your cardinal directions. Okay. I mean, these builds seem good. Boom. Nice. Shooting. Big damage. Love that for me. I think that... Does that bomb hurt me? Or is that like a friend bomb? Or is that like a buddy bomb that like helps me out? Okay. Room spawns 50% more enemies, but dashing causes an explosion. I'm not dashing that much. Every 5 seconds explode. Timer now skips time to end in 0 or 5. So skipping times to end in 0 and 5 is the same as making time move 20% faster, right? I like exploding, sure. Boom. Big damn. Love that for me. Okay. All right. Big damage. Nice, okay. Temporal paradoxes for dummies. Double the length of frozen time. On enemy kill, freezes time for 0.5 seconds, but it has a 5-second cooldown. So it seems like these are a good combo. And I'm never not actively moving. Sure. Seems like a pretty good combo. Okay. Nice. And so I freeze time on enemy kill, but my cooldowns are worse because of a different relic I took, I think. Okay. Nice. Alright. Alright. Okay. Tongue of Karen. The first rerolling shop is free. 10% crit chance. Ooh, yeah, I'll take that. Move and shoot 50% faster, but time ticks down twice as fast. Okay, I'll just take my extra crit chance. Nice. Okay. We are gaming. Big damage. They never seen moves like this. Okay. Stop dodging, brother. Okay. Enemies now explode for sure. Dashing causes an explosion. Future items cost 10 seconds less. I only have 37 seconds left. Is it not survive for this long? It feels like the time going down is a bad thing because I'm spending time on items. But do I need to like beat a certain amount of enemies and I only have so long to do it? Maybe? Which means I definitely can't buy any of this or instantly my time will be done. Okay. Wow, that was a big explosion. That was nice. Okay. Okay. Your blood runs out and you lose consciousness. Your body and soul are agonizingly consumed by a thick red darkness. Despite your valiant struggle, in the end, you die without changing anything. Sure looks like I'm still going just fine, brother. Boom. Nice. All right, my projectile is twice as big. Oh, okay, back to menu. All right, so I need to not buy so many upgrades because I only have 10 minutes. How much do I need to survive? Okay, I will say the faster projectiles feel much better. Your attack speed doubles, but enemies are more dangerous, dealing higher damage and having more health. Room spawns 50% more enemies. I think this is pretty good, but the other ones don't seem worth it. Yeah, double attack speed seems nice. Okay, this definitely synergizes with something that like happens per attack. Every 5 seconds, shoot a cross shape in the direction you're firing. Doesn't seem good. Dashing causes an explosion. Nope. Enemies now explode. I don't think this is worth anything. Okay. Move it along, no problem. Okay. And all right, that's another wave down. Your projectiles are twice as big. Time takes down faster if you aren't actively moving. I'm always moving, so this is just the cost of 30 time, right? Okay, so that's just that cost. Plus 20% increase to crit rate and critical hits. Hit twice. But enemies gain a 25% chance to critically hit EU. I don't think I need the crits. I'm just going to take it. Oh, yeah. I fire faster. I have crits. I think I'm in a good spot. 10% crit chance and crit increased to 2, but your attacks move at half speed. Interesting. I think it's worth it because we already got a movement increase and our projectiles are very large. So I think this is going to make us deal big damage because we took the crit synergies, but nice. Okay. I think this means I take no more upgrades because I just need to survive. And I'm very strong. Okay. Nice, okay. No longer take damage from enemy attacks, but reduce the rate at which your health drains. And reduce the rate at which... But any damage you take instead permanently increases the rate that your health drains. That doesn't seem good. Yeah, so I don't want any of this. Okay. Easy clear. Nice, okay. Time takes down twice as fast. Definitely not. I don't want any of this. Okay. Nice. On critical hit, freeze time for 0.5 seconds. I don't want any of this. Okay. All right. We're gaming. Nice, okay. Enemies now explode. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, don't want any of this. Okay, I don't know how many waves I need to survive, but I'm in such a good spot. I still have 5 minutes left. And I feel like my giant projectile crit build's pretty good. Nice. The cult leader collapses to the ground, blood pooling beneath his body. As you triumphantly stand above his corpse, your blood runs out and you lose consciousness. Your body and soul are agonizingly consumed by a thick red darkness. Meanwhile, the fall of the cult leader destabilizes the ritual he was performing, and the gathered dark magics explode like a collapsing star. Searing hot blood floods through the cultist's lair, devouring every person it touches, prisoners and cultists alike. You manage to drag the cult down, but at what cost? Nice, we won. Okay. Let's think critically about this game and see if we can provide some feedback. So, the very first thing that stands out to me is this game has a pretty fundamental design flaw. And the design flaw is that in a roguelike, the thing that's fun to do is get really powerful and buy awesome upgrades so that you're really strong. In this game, the last like 6 shops in a row or something were me saying, I don't want to buy any of this junk and leaving. And I think that's not a good sign because I had like a crit build thing going. And the crit build was cool. And I had big projectiles that did crit twice when they crit. And like all of that was really sick. But even when I got offered a crit chance upgrade, I was like, it's not worth spending like 45 seconds on it because I need to survive for all the rounds. The money being unrecoverable health is why you weren't buying much. Yes, exactly. The economy of this game is fundamentally balanced around you have like, basically I have 60 times 10. I have 600 gold at the start of the game. And every second I lose some gold and then I can spend gold to buy upgrades and I need to survive for a certain amount of time. This is interesting. This is an interesting design, but the problem is it means I don't want to spend the gold. Once I'm strong enough that I think I can easily clear the rest of the waves, buying gold or buying items, spending my health is like a problem, right? I think the fact that my economy is permanently limited is like not good. There needs to either be a way for me to gain time back, or there needs to be something I can do to earn like temporary upgrades or something, or like the first upgrade in each shop needs to be free or something. And then I can choose if I want to dip into my actual time remaining. It's like right now, the problem is that the game doesn't want me to buy its upgrades. And there's no way for me to get my health back after I buy the upgrades. So I'm just going to play as safely as possible, right? Because players will always optimize for the option that gives them the best chance at winning. And the best chance at winning in this game is by not buying things so you can serve your time. But not buying things to conserve your time is not the most fun way to play. The the most fun way to play is getting really awesome builds that shoot out a bunch of projectiles, do all kinds of stuff, big explosions, etc. But and the enemies are quite weak. That's a great point. I don't really need the upgrades because the enemies aren't a big threat, right? I was strong enough to deal with the enemies, no problem, and I had 5 minutes left. I even could have bought more upgrades, but it just wasn't worth it, especially because I didn't know how many rounds I had left. Like, there wasn't like a timer or anything that's like, next is the last round, right? If there was like a clear speed bonus where it's like the faster you defeat all the enemies, the more time you get back, right? So it's like if each round there's like a minute, and by how long you by how much you surpass that minute, like if you beat it in 30 seconds, you get 30 seconds back. Then I can spend that 30 seconds if I want to. And if I spend that 30 seconds getting stronger, which lets me clear faster, right? There's some kind of a loop there. But right now, the loop of this game, eventually you get to a point where you're strong enough to win, and then you say, all right, I'm going to stop engaging. These systems mean nothing to me. I'm just going to chill and win. Because buying these upgrades is not worth it. Not only do the upgrades cost my permanent health and I have no way of getting it back, but also a lot of the upgrades give me some kind of debuff on top of it, right? It's like, this doesn't just cost me 30 seconds, which 30 seconds is 5% of my total time for the whole run, right? 5%. Like my first run I lost because I was enjoying the upgrades and just buying stuff. The second run I won because I was playing in the way that's not nearly as fun as the first run was. But not only does this cost 5% of my total health for the entire run, but it gives me a debuff on top of the bonus it gives me. So I think right now, I wonder if you could do like one or the other, right? Where it's like the ones that cost no health have a permanent debuff, and the ones that cost your health don't have a debuff, right? So it's like, oh, am I willing to spend some time to get this upgrade, or I can take the upgrade with the curse on it, right? I think that could be interesting. Right. And also, because the enemies are fairly weak, there is no real reason to risk anything. Additionally, I feel like this game would work better. Buying this early is like a huge mistake. But right now, I think this would work a lot better as like a twin stick shooter where I can fire in the direction of my mouse rather than firing with my arrow keys. Because for one, firing with the arrow keys like limits me to like the like 8. The primary is the cardinal and the ordinal directions, like the 8 primary directions on the compass. But also, it just feels a little bit awkward. Whereas if I was aiming where I'm pointing my mouse, I feel like that would feel a lot more natural. And then also would lend itself to a twin stick shooter the way this quite doesn't. Because the twin stick in this would only go in one of those 8 directions. I think it would be a lot smoother if it just went wherever you were aiming with your mouse. Yeah, it's like this one, not only does it cost me 45 seconds, so this costs me 7.5% of my total time, but then it ticks time down twice as fast. So time ticks down twice as fast means this costs me like 57% of my total time for the run if I take it. Assuming I don't buy anything else, right? So like, I feel like not only is the balance a little bit off, but like the design here, like the fundamental idea here needs something to make it work. And I think maybe the way you make it work is by having a way that you get time back, right? I need to be able to defeat the boss, and I need to be able to be strong enough to not just die. Maybe the time and the health can be separate ideas. Like you have a little bit of health, like you have like 5 HP or 3 HP or something. And then you also have your timer. And when you take damage, rather than losing time, you lose health. And so you need to be strong enough to literally not die, right? If you're not strong enough, the enemies will hit you and you'll die. So you need to be strong enough to die, but you also are trying to balance your time. You don't have that much time. So if you spend it, you're also going to run out of time and die. So you need to spend enough time to be strong enough to not die from the health. And then that lets you survive to get more time back by beating certain waves or something. So I feel like there's a lot of like little nitpicks that you could go for this game. Like the UI could use some work. The enemies are the projectiles. That's one thing I noticed is that my projectiles and the enemy's projectiles look exactly the same. Like wait for him to shoot. Shoot at me. Shoot at me, brother. Yeah. That projectile looks the exact same as my projectile. And so the readability of that is not that ideal. I like the sprites for the goblins though. Those are cute. Yeah, so having different projectiles for the player versus the enemy would be great. Also, the fact that it fires faster when you hold rather than clicking is a little bit strange to me. I don't know why clicking gets punished, but just holding the fire doesn't get punished. But those are like minor nitpicks when I think really the focus... you're both shooting red blood cells. I think it's fine to be blood themed, but the projectiles can't look the same. The readability of that's really, really bad. It makes it hard to tell what's happening on screen. And it also makes it really hard for the viewer. I think if my red blood cells were like bright red and like circular and their red blood cells were like corrupted with all kinds of like, particle trails on them or something, I think that's totally fine. They just need to be visually different. Ideally also a different color, but maybe mine is bright red, theirs is like dark red or something. But I think the fundamental design issue with the fact that I don't want to engage with the roguelike systems because I want to save my time would be ideal. Give enemies sickle cells. Oh, like they literally throw scythes? That's cool. That's a fun idea. Oh yeah, the different goblins could literally represent like blood diseases and stuff. One of the goblins can be the Hinox Shanlin Purpura blood cell, which is the blood disease I have. Yeah, that'd be interesting. But okay. But yeah, I think the idea here is interesting. The idea that I'm spending my limited time resource on the upgrades, that's an interesting idea. I just think it needs a lot of sauce to make it fit into the roguelike a little bit better. Because the core ideas of the roguelike, the way I engage with the roguelike for fun, like getting a cool build and becoming strong, don't mesh with the not wanting to buy the upgrades. So OMG, are you gonna die? Yes, someday. Eventually. Ideally I wouldn't, but I think I don't get much control over that. So, there was almost no juice. Yeah. I think you could, there are like plenty of things you could improve on with like the juice and the animations and like tweening on the UI and cleaning up the UI and fixing some bugs and sound effects. Like there's a lot of stuff that could be cleaned up in that game, but it was done for the GMTK Jam. So there was a very strict time limit. And when they submitted it, they said, yeah, they didn't have time to finish all the stuff they wanted. So, okay, next up, we have Untitled Pirate Game by EU3Boo. Okay, I think that's probably exactly how they want their name pronounced. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to need to turn this down in my ears a little bit. Hold on. Okay. Let me turn this down in y'all's ears too. Okay, and here's the sound, and we have Untitled Pirate Game. Up arrow to start. Attack, purify, deflect, or block. Okay, he's blocking. I'll attack. Easy. What's he doing? He's blocking. Wait for that. I'll attack. Nice. He's blocking. Wait for that. Attack. Alright, that was easy. Choose a new action. Healing seems good, I guess. What is purify? I don't know what anything does. What's purify? I assume defend is don't take damage. Deflect is probably... Isn't deflect going to just be better than defend? Okay, in that case, I'll get rid of defend. Okay, attack. Deflect. Deflect. Attack. Attack. I attacked his shield. Okay, I think I failed my deflect. I can heal. Oh, the heal is slow. Just keep healing. Easy money. He's defending. Attack him. Okay, easy. How can I send my game to be played? There's a channel called Showcase Saturday in the Discord that you can submit it. Oh, Insandio! Insandio, good to see you in chat. How you doing? Nice, glad to see you in chat. That's cool. I'm playing Untitled Pirate Game, Insandio. Can't you just heal all game? Maybe. Blood stab or blood slice or slash? Well, blood slice and blood stab both sound cool. I'm going blood stab. That's got to be better than attacking. Blood stab. Blood stab does a bunch of damage to me. Ooh. Ooh, that's going to make this much harder. Okay, okay. Blood stab takes like all of my health. Oh, no. I don't have another way to attack. I thought this was just going to be better. Haha. Oh, I can attack with 0 HP. Oh, you're so done. Easy money. What was that? Okay. Okay, whoa. The blood stab is gone. Okay, we'll just get slash then. Slash, boom, boom, boom. Easy money. I'll race you. You guys don't stand a chance. Easy, 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 easy. And then I heal myself up. Nice. Blood stab goes through shield. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Gaming. Brother, you don't stand a chance. I slash through all your friends. Got him. My music went away. Blood slice or slam. Okay, what's slam do? Big slam. Wow, he's got no health. Boom. Uh-oh. He healed. Is he healing again? Or is he attacking? Oh, he's attacking. But he's getting slammed. How come I lose my new attacks between rounds? I don't know. I need to heal. The slam is very slow. But it looks like he should be kind of donezo. I'll heal just in case, but... Do I need to, like, purify him or something? Is that what purify is here for? Nope, I just won. Can you miss your game being played? Do they, like, message you, hey, we're playing a game? No, I don't send messages, but there is... Insandio actually has been keeping a document in Discord of the games I play on stream with a link. So if you missed a stream or something, you want to see if your game got played, you can just check that document. And it'll have your game listed if it's on there. The sprite was blocking their timer. Yeah. Also, it seems like the game... Did it crash, or is that the end? Okay, seems like maybe that was the end. Anyway, let's think critically and see if we can give some feedback on this game. So, first off, I really like the sprites. I think the sprites are super cute. Obviously, there wasn't time for, like, the background or any, like... the UI is very simplistic, but the sprites are really cool, and I think if the whole game was in this art style, that could work. And I see you were trying to do some nice animation. I like the way you used tweens and scaling and some like squash and stretch to add some secondary animation to the very simple like one frame animation you were able to get in there. This is not my best work. You know, so stab probably doesn't cost my own HP. It's just like fast. Oh, does it attack both? Oh, stab attacks both. It feels like it does more damage to the one in the back. What's Purify? I didn't even find out what this does. Purify just another attack? Okay, it looks like Purify is a magic attack. Interesting. Oh, Purify does half of their HP, it seems. Okay. Yeah, I think the idea that I have a limited set of actions and I get to replace them is cool. And then the fact that it's like real time and I need to like time stuff is also pretty interesting. But I will say... Swing always hits the one in the back. Interesting. The game's like a little bit simplistically easy. So slash is fast, swing just melts whoever's in the back. Just absolutely brutalizes whoever's in the back. Okay, slash does no damage to him. I'll deflect. Yeah, I think also the readability on the different items were interesting. Oh, the Vortex! Vortex is in chat. What's up, Vortex? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Vortex is a longtime friend of both the channel and me and Insandio. Kind of VIP in here, so I make sure everyone make sure you're nice to Vortex. And welcome. Glad to have you. Having zero indication of what the things do when selecting them is rough. Yeah, I don't know what any of these do. So a quick hover or tooltip so that I can... I've had both streams open for a while now. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Vortex. You've been watching the games? That's cool. Yeah, W Vortex for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Glad to have you here. Okay. And hope you're having a good day. So yeah, having a tooltip so that if I like hover over swing, I know what it does would be really nice so that I could like know that the blood stab costs my own HP. And then purifies like magic damage. Some way I would have added a description. Yeah. I think that would help a lot with being able to pick my decisions. But then the other thing is readability in terms of not just what they do, but the timing on stuff would be cool. Like this enemy is going to like start channeling something. I can't see their indicator, but like if when they're channeling, I can see it like coming towards me. And then when it like hits something over here is when it happens, or some kind of UI or indicator that can, some other UI or indicator that can like intersect with me or somehow show me what's going to happen so that I can try to time properly. Because then, especially imagine if you did the UI such that the character was like down a little bit and my indicator was above my head, then you could put the indicators above the enemy's head and it could like come towards me slowly, right? So that I can like time things properly, because that would give me a better sense of timing. Because right now, if I want to deflect, I have to like, it's not clear a little bit when exactly the timing is. And so having some indicator of like when the deflect happens, if it like put like a shield or other icon, and like when I finish channeling it, it goes up into the bar, like goes into the center here, and like it stays there for a little bit while the animation's happening. And then I can like when the enemy is coming in, I can see very clearly if I timed it properly. I think that kind of readability on the timing of things would be helpful. So some kind of UI that helps me understand both the timing and what's going on so that I can do my real time combat a little bit better. I think that would be really cool. But otherwise, I love the art, and I think the idea here is very cool. And I think the fact that all the abilities have their own timing is cool too. I feel like for a game like this, looking at like something like Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door or something like that would help with for inspiration for how you could do things, because I think the way they did timing, like real time, like hitting the button at the proper time during the RPG combat was very satisfying. And this feels like an even more real time action version of that. So I'd go something like that. I'll show my friend this stream. He's stealing it for his RPG combat. This is good advice. Hey, I'm glad it's helpful. I'm glad it's helpful. But yeah, I think overall it's cool. I really like the art, and I think some readability aspects would make it work better. Additionally, this is interesting though. For an RPG, like a bigger RPG, because it's real time, swapping between characters sounds hard unless the timers were much longer, and then you're running into a whole complexity issue. But the idea here is cool, I think. So nice. All right. The Vortex, hello, Al. Hey, Vortex. Vortex, good to see you. Okay. Let me go back to this view. And okay, cool. I think that's going to be it for today's stream. I was thinking about doing one more game, but I am very hungry and a little bit tired. So I'm going to go eat something and take a rest. I don't want to give people like improper feedback. There was one more GMTK game I was going to play, but maybe I'll do that next stream. And also, I think more people have submitted as well, too. But awesome. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Make sure you click the like button on the stream if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and hope to see you next Showcase Saturday. Peace out, everybody. See ya.